Take a drive onto the beautiful campus of the Woodberry Forest School here in the area of Orange, Virginia, as we head over to the pitch for today's soccer match as the Woodberry Forest Tigers host Eastern Mennonite here this wonderful windy afternoon. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in to today's broadcast, joined by Trey Wilson on the sidelines and Dave McHugh here alongside as my analyst in the booth. I'm Brian Gardner, and we've got a pretty good match headed up for this one here today. Dave, is two hot teams tangling here in Orange, Virginia.
Yeah, both teams playing very well. Six undefeated games in a row here for Woodberry Forest. Of course, 7 straight without a loss, we should say, for Eastern Mennonite. And, of course, a great day to play soccer. A little cloudy now. It was nice and sunny earlier, but it's perfect temperature for an October game. These teams are going to love these conditions for sure.
Let's jump on right into this and check out what each team would have to do to get a win today, starting with the visitors from Eastern Mennonite.
Yeah, fight for the ball seems kind of obvious, but it's really important against this Woodberry Forest team who's going to pressure the ball the whole time. So try and get those 50-50s, try and find ways to fight for the ball, get it in your possession and control is going to be key. Staying hot, we mentioned, 7 straight games now, they haven't lost a game, 5-0-2. You want to keep that momentum as the season goes on. You want to keep that going. You don't want to hit a roadblock along the way. Of course, in wins, they are a hot scoring team, nearly 5.5 goals a game when they win. And that is certainly important against another high-powered offense in Woodberry Forest.
A prolific offense, to be sure, and you mentioned another high-powered offense in Woodberry Forest, and for the homestanding bunch that will be dressed in those white jerseys today, let's look at the keys for them.
Well, first let's look at Ryan Gandy. He's going to be the player to watch here for Eastern Mennonite, the junior midfielder. 13 goals and 5 assists, 31 total points. That's a lot of scoring, especially coming from a midfield position. Of course, they play a 4-5-1. He's allowed to leak up a little bit more into the forward position. We'll be keeping an eye on number 2 there for Eastern Mennonite. Again, 13 goals. That's going to be something the defense for the Tigers have to concentrate on.
Now, as I jump the gun a little bit, we can check out Woodberry Forest and what the homestanding bunch needs to do to come away with a victory in this tilt.
Yeah, talking to their head coach, playing together seems a little bit obvious, but he really preaches that this team is a true unit. There isn't one specific guy. If they can play as a unit, from everybody from the starters to the subs to the bench, if people can come in and play as a unit, they're going to do well. Apply high pressure. You're going to see pressure almost the entire 120 yards for this team. They like to push up the pace, try and keep the transition to a minimum and keep the defenders honest, and then start the game strong. Again, a little bit of coach speak maybe from their coaches, but he likes to speak that way. They want to start this game strong and play the entire 90 minutes instead of having to be back on their heels and find a way to spark themselves.
Woodberry Forest has some a plethora of players who could be key in this game, but Will Peak's a guy we're taking an extra eye on.
Yeah, Will Peak, one of the tri-captains on this team, forward, midfielder. He'll play a little bit more forward today. 5 goals and assists, scored the game winner against Collegiate a couple of games ago. Very good vision and ball control, according to their head coach, and links up well with Joe Foley, another guy we'll talk about. He knows how to transition with Foley, so Foley pushes up. Peak's going to be able to drop back and vice versa, and he's be able to find the nice quick pass, and obviously, as you can watch in the video, he's got pretty good ball control as well on his foot.
Should be a lot of fun to watch today. Looking forward to it. And we mentioned that Trey Wilson will be patrolling the sidelines today. And before the game, he got a chance to catch up with both of these coaches. Let's check in now with Trey Wilson on the sideline.
Thanks, Brian. Coach Shank, both of these teams coming in have been pretty hot coming into this game today. What are you guys looking to do to defeat Woodberry Forest?
I think it's going to take a lot of smart passing. Our last game against Covenant, the field was slippery. It was field turf, and so there wasn't much possession, and we like to possess the ball. So we're looking to limit our touches on the ball, change the point of attack swiftly, and see what happens from there.
Now, both of these teams score quite a bit. Is there anything that you guys are looking to do aside from possession to slow down this Woodberry Forest team?
I think just remind my defenders we need to contain first. We're not trying to jump in and steal the ball right away, and so I think that defending as a unit, committed to slowing them down first, will be our best chance of trying to slow them down.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Trey. That was Trey Wilson with Ben Rothshank, the head coach for Eastern Mennonite. And on the other side, it's Lee Miles, the head man for the Woodberry Forest Tigers, and he also got a chance to check them out.
Thank you, Brian. Coach Mills, what are the keys for you guys beating Eastern Mennonite today?
We want to continue to do what we've been doing, getting balls up to our attack, being creative and in unpredictable ways, getting the whole attack up, defense, keeping our lines tight, and then when we do not have the ball, it's getting it back as soon as possible, applying high pressure, going into tackles hard, working together as a unit.
I understand that you guys don't do a lot of scouting of the other teams. Both of these teams very high-powered offensively. What do you guys want to do to stay ahead of the Eastern Mennonite attack?
Yeah, we don't really worry too much about the other teams because we want to be worried about our style of play. And so it's really just playing our game and really not changing anything up. It's applying that high pressure and don't let them get into a rhythm. Making sure that we have strong pressure right from the get-go and for 90 minutes straight, not letting them get a rhythm.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Once again, thank you, Trey. That was Trey Wilson with Len Mills, the head man for Woodberry Forest. Now, these are a couple of teams that they can score. They put up goals. You might see a little bit higher scoring pace than your usual soccer match. And you take a look at the breakdown for Eastern Mennonite, and they'll get they average over 1 goal per half each side, almost 2 goals per the first half. So starting fast would be key for them.
Yeah, and of course, 3.2 for the whole season. And 5.4 in wins. It shows you that when they lose, they're struggling on the offensive end against good defenses. They want to make sure that they keep their pressure up and get transition and get down and score as often as they can. Get good looks, especially, because the more looks you get, the more opportunities, obviously. So they're going to want to make sure to keep the pressure up offensively.
It seems so simple, but just putting the ball in the net, absolutely key.
Absolutely. Of course, for Woodberry Forest, 3.6 goals, exactly the same almost as Eastern Mennonite. Well, interesting enough, hearing from both coaches, the two teams that can score a lot of goals in a soccer match, Eastern Mennonite seem a little more conservative on defense. They don't want to make mistakes on defense. They want to contain and keep the offense from making any transitions. And I think on the other side for Woodberry Forest, they're going to want to make sure that they keep up the pressure and maybe gamble a little bit more often. So you're going to see 2 different approaches from teams who are willing to shoot and score as well.
A couple of teams that have absolutely had success all season long, both coming in hot. And you take a look at the goal differential for Eastern Mennonite, almost plus 30 in the winning percentage. They're used to winning, ranked high in the state, and they'll put up some goals like we said.
Well, we said 5.4 goals scored in wins. That you see it right there with goals, 46 scored and only allowing 18. Stingy defense, conservative, wanted to not make mistakes and allow their offense to flow. Whereas Woodberry Forest, they're kind of similar in nature. They've scored a lot this year, not as prolific at 29 goals. Of course, 29 goals, a little deceiving. First game of the season, 13-1 win. Nothing wrong with that. Coach certainly likes it, but it gives you an idea, though, still without that, if you add it up, they're still outscoring their opponents by quite a bit. And again, it starts with the defense as well, which Coach speaks highly of.
Since that 13-goal output, they have not eclipsed 3 in a single match, so we'll keep an eye on that. We're going to step aside. Once again, this is Woodberry Forest Soccer, presented by DMVstream.com.
My name's Harrison Stewart. I'm the Director of Admissions at Woodberry Forest School and also a member of the class of 1998. This fall we are celebrating our 125th anniversary. It's been 125 years that motivated boys have been coming to Woodberry Forest, and if you have someone in your family or if you know of someone who may have some interest in attending Woodberry Forest or just taking a look, don't hesitate to be in touch. The process runs all the way through the fall up until February 1st, which is our first round application deadline, and we're here to be helpful to you. We'd be delighted to have you to campus. Come spend the night on dorm, go to a couple of classes and see what it's all about. See why guys have been coming to Woodberry for 125 years and what makes us.
Greetings from Woodberry Forest School and the Alumni Office. My name is Dodi Chavez. I'm the Director of Alumni Relations and a graduate of the class of 1985. This opening school year marks the 125th anniversary of Woodberry educating boys. And all throughout the year, we will be commemorating this great accomplishment by coming to visit your area. Please go to the website and look to see where we will be. If your graduating year ends in a 4 or a 9, please mark your calendar for next spring. April 25th through 26th is your reunion. You will not want to miss it. I also encourage you to get involved with your regional association. Just go to the website and check out all of our alumni regional associations and see where you can help.
We welcome you back in here at Woodberry Forest School for today's soccer match between Eastern Mennonite and the Woodberry Forest Tigers. And it's Trey Wilson on the sideline, Dave McHugh and Brian Gardner here in the booth. And just in general, we went through the numbers as we opened up there on the broadcast, and a couple of high-scoring teams could be a lot of fun, but the wind, as you may be able to hear, is blowing a lot. And as a former goalkeeper yourself, Dave, you mentioned to me before we went on air as something that this could affect the goalkeepers a lot more than maybe the guys out in the field.
Yeah, beautiful campus here and gorgeous sunny day to start. Now the clouds are moving in, and the wind is going to be a factor. When I played goalie, I hated a really windy day, especially when it was cross field. If it was downwind, that's fine, or into the wind, but a cross field was always challenging. It kept you from being able to hit, whether it was your left or your right wing on outlet passes. You weren't really positive what your punt was going to do. It could cross a little bit more than you're expecting, so you have to almost overcompensate for that without it going out of bounds and keeping guys involved. And so the wind's going to become a factor. It's also going to become a factor for long outlet passes. Defense trying to transition up to the midfield. You're going to have to keep the ball down a little bit more and not try and get it up into the air where Mother Nature will take over what the plan with that ball is going to be to your teammates.
It should definitely be interesting to keep an eye on those outlet passes and the punts and everything up in the air, as it is pleasant in terms of how it feels out here. The breeze, it feels nice, but it might wreak a little bit of havoc on the pitch. It's 73 degrees at game time with those gusts of 10-mile-an-hour winds. It feels like it could be even a little bit more than that.
I would even say, because we're in an open area, it's wide open here. The wind's coming right across the valley. I would say those gusts are probably even a little conservative. They're probably coming closer to 20 miles an hour. Going to be a major factor for these two teams as they play on what is a gorgeous field and a beautiful location.
Seems like an absolutely wonderful playing surface nestled over in the corner of this wonderful sprawling campus. You're making the drive in here and just looking all around, athletic facilities everywhere at the football and additional soccer practice fields next to this game field. And I'm looking forward to watching this one.
No, it's nice to show off your athletic fields as you come onto the
Absolutely.
campus. It's a great way of opening up your campus. And so you come through the woods and you open up right to the soccer field and then the football fields and stuff around. Undefeated this season so far at home for Woodberry Forest. Their last loss coming at home was last year in their final regular season game at home. This is a team, by the way, that has really sprouted this year. 8-9 last year. They've made the second round of the playoffs the last couple of years. Made the first round about 4 years ago and couldn't get past that. Despite an 8-9 record, they're looking to continue their hot streak here. 7 wins again. Certainly home field has been to their benefit, but even on the road, they've been playing well. They're looking to continue it here.
They are in their comfort zone, definitely here on their home field and hosting a good team, a team that can put up some goals, but a team that will absolutely be put to the test in Eastern Mennonite.
Well, and a team that's played 5 straight. This is their fifth straight road game, so they are road tested and maybe a little bit road weary, depending on how it works out for them. But this is a team that loves home, a team that's comfortable on the road. It kind of evens it off. We talk about the high scoring. You know what that usually means? We're going to get a 0-0 game. That's how it always seems to pan out. But I'm looking forward to both these teams kind of figuring each other out. Last year, Eastern Mennonite winning at their place 2-0. I think that's a different game now. I think this Woodberry Forest team is much more gelled together. They've played a long time. They are very senior heavy, but they've got a lot of contributions from freshmen as well.
It will be the road team, Eastern Mennonite, on the kickoff. Set up and the whistle blows, and we're underway here from the Woodberry Forest School. Delighted to have you alongside here for some Woodberry Forest soccer on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Pass is handled and picked up by Eastern Mennonite, sent out of bounds.
You see the pressure immediately there to force that pass out of bounds. No easy ones here for Woodberry Forest. They want to challenge everything if they get the opportunity.
With it at center field here for Woodberry Forest is Woody Scruggs, who plays it on back. Sent forward on a long pass to midfield.
Thomas Lee in goal, wearing the headgear as well.
Handled at center here. This is Nolan Day. Sent it on forward. Kind of playing with it at midfield here, a little bit of back and forth action to see if there will be any sustained pressure, as having it knocked off of his feet was Jaden Hostetter. Thrown back in for Woodberry Forest on the attack.
Nice transition so far, crossing the midfield, but couldn't get that pass. As the goalie comes running out, there'll be a free throw. And should mention, Woodberry Forest kind of playing a 4-4-2, or if you're a real aficionado, they play a back flat 3 with their stopper pushing up, so it almost turns into a kind of a 3-1-3-2.
We're going to check in early here with Trey Wilson on the sideline, who has a report for us.
Thank you, Brian. I was listening in with the pregame conversation between both coaches and their squads. Coach Mills told his guys wants them to be very cautious defensively today and tenacious offensively. He said get one on the board, strike early and strike often. With Coach Shank of Eastern Mennonite, said he wants them to stay very tight defensively and communicate on all sides of the field. Take advantage of whatever opportunities that they can get from this Woodberry Forest team this afternoon.
Thank you, Trey. It was a little bit jump the gun on you there. We get back to the action here. Ball is sent out of bounds. Will be a throw-in for Eastern Mennonite.
Misspoke earlier. Woodberry Forest playing a flat 3, so a 3-1, 3 triangle in the middle, 2 wingers on the midfield, and 2 guys up front. So they're spreading it out, trying to rotate guys around. Whereas on the other side of things, you're going to see a bit of a 4-5-1 coming out of Eastern Mennonite. Kind of something that's kind of come of age in the last 20 years, but also some teams starting to sway away from that. You got to have a really good forward up top to work a 4-5-1.
Throw-in goes off the foot and back into possession of Eastern Mennonite.
Both teams kind of playing in the middle of the field right now, kind of conservative. Don't want to push it too much as they want to make sure they complete their passes, and a nice cross-field pass there.
King has it played up to him. Sends it off of the knee of the charging defender. That's Jaden Hostetter. Retaining possession, Woodberry Forest.
Appears we have one referee short, by the way. Sideline on the near side, not a traditional ref. They'll maybe come and play when you're talking offsides.
The ARs, as you call them, stay on the side with the flags, and the main job of that official to wave the flag and indicate offside. So on the near side where we're set up here in our broadcast tent, long pass up ahead. Here's a chance. Crossing it towards the far corner, it floats up in the air.
That's where the wind came in play. It hung up there, but unfortunately for Jimmy King, he didn't realize it was sitting there, and it dropped right in the box.
It was Hostetter who controlled it, got it to Oberholzer. Tough work and corralled by Woodberry Forest. This is Foley. Sent it forward to Stager, gives it a go, and it went off with some feet on the way in and picked up defensively by Luke Hertzler.
Stager wanted a handball call in the box. It was a good no call. The ball played the hand, not the player trying to play the ball. It was basically off a deflection.
So Hertzler punts it away up to midfield. On the attack is Lehman. Now Billy Smith sends it out of bounds.
Interesting enough, Eastern Mennonite walking up on the defensive side. You know, again, try not to make mistakes. Don't want to get caught off too much. As you see a replay of that ball that literally floated in about halfway there. It just stopped.
And the wind is kind of coming from left to right if you're positioned as Hertzler is in the net there.
And so basically the cross was into the teeth of the wind.
Absolutely hit a wall and just stayed up there and was easier to defend in that way, I guess.
It'll be something Jimmy Smith will have to adjust to next time. He'll expect that to land in front of him instead of peeling off thinking it was well past the goal.
Ball on the left wing, played on forward. This is Stager, lost it. Retained now, though, by Woodberry Forest. There's a good chance for a streaking forward on the backside being Woody Scruggs, and eventually it is sent far out of play. We'll bring up a goal kick.
Yeah, great look for Scruggs. Didn't turn out the way they wanted. Jimmy Smith then launching from about 30 yards out and got way underneath it, so it went well over the goal.
Nicely defended. Then a big go, as you see there, sent deep into the trees behind the pitch.
Tough goal kick, immediately stolen.
Here's King looking forward, long pass left side, and there it goes out of bounds.
And there's the flip of it. Now if you're on the near side, basically if you're watching the game, near side to far side is how the wind is blowing. Of course, Jimmy Smith fires one from the near side. It sails to the backside rather easily.
It's something to keep an eye on and see how these players adjust to it. Here's the ball at center. Coming in on the attack, and nicely done there by Hostetter to foot it out. Trying to get a counterattack here, Eastern Mennonite. Here they come at center. Nice little slide tackle attempt. This is Ryan Gandy, their leading scorer. Gandy played it back. Hostetter now forward to Gandy once more.
Good job by Woody Scruggs of breaking up the transition there with a sliding tackle.
Gandy with Oberholzer. He'll play it back towards the center. Nice effort defensively by Justin Park. Got in the way. Still in control, Eastern Mennonite. This is Martin. Send it forward. And picking it up in at net there, as it will be Thomas Lee.
Another look at the transition on the other end of the cross. Just missed it. They're popping them right in the middle of the box nicely, but Eastern Mennonite doing a really good job defensively of clogging up the middle and keeping those through opportunities from converting. But they've given up a lot of opportunities too. They got a give and take there.
Lee's goal kick off a defender and out of bounds for a throw-in.
Again, ball pushing to the far sideline a little bit because of the wind. Everybody's going to have to adjust to that.
Coming in on the left wing on an attack, see if they can set something up here inside the goal area. Long one that floats a little bit, stalled by the wind. Now coming back from midfield to retain possession is Oberholzer.
Not to belabor the wind point, but the two things it's going to do is going to hang the ball up there, but it's also going to have it float just a little bit more, so it might sail over a guy's head when normally a top spin or something might let it drop.
The throw-in headed away by Woodberry Forest. And on the attack now, Peak played it on back, and it is turned over. Defensively clearing it away was Vrolik.
Peak was looking for that ball to come back to him. I think that might have been the better play for Jimmy Smith, but he tried to cross it instead. I think Peak had a nice opportunity for a give and go down the wing.
Park forward to Peak. Gives it a go long towards the goal line now, winning possession. That was Jimmy King, but he couldn't quite control it. Still on the attack, though, Woodberry Forest. Play it back towards midfield.
That are dangerous on the wing there, allowing that ball to drop in the box.
Vrolik defensively just boots it out of play.
Vrolik was in trouble. He had two guys on him, and he's sitting at the top of the box. The best clear there is the best option. Just get it out of the box.
Woodberry Forest with it, throwing in from sideline on the far side. Played it on towards the middle, coming back for it, Jimmy King. King, left side for Edo Douglas. A scrum. Long run to the far side. Played it on back, still with it, Woodberry Forest. Now a long one that goes sailing over the goal and out of play. That will be a goal kick forthcoming.
Woodberry Forest likes to go for those long passes. We've already seen that in the last third of the field. They're trying to cross it in as much as they can. It's at least keeping Eastern Mennonite's defense back, but I think they need to start looking at maybe a little more 1-2 touch.
Hertzler forewent the goal kick to his defenseman, Alec Vrolik, one of the captains for Eastern Mennonite. Here's a turnover and back on the attack, Woodberry Forest. Losing control on a long run on the far side, sending it forward was Billy Smith. Headed at center. Ball back and forth, no one really gaining possession. Now it's Woodberry Forest, long run to the near side. And towed out of bounds by Jaden Hostetter.
Probably not the play he wanted. He wanted to control that more, but Peak was applying pressure.
Here's Ryan Gandy. On the turnover, nicely defended, long pass intercepted. Here comes Woodberry Forest on the attack. Right into your kitchen, coming down the right wing. A long shot to the back end, and it was loose. It got away from Hertzler. Great effort by Woody Scruggs, streaking in on the backside, and unable to get there was Jimmy King.
Great job by Scruggs from the get-go. He intercepts the pass, able to come down the wing, get the ball back on his foot, and a nice cross across the box. Goalie can't pick it up, but his deflection was just enough to take the timing off.
Hertzler did get a hand on it, didn't keep possession, and that was almost a doorstep opportunity for King.
And by the way, probably should have been a corner kick, but the referee didn't see the deflection.
Forward on the attack once again on the left wing. Here's Woodberry Forest coming in from the goal line, across into the box and headed away. It will be towed aside, and here's Gandy now. Going to give it a long run, Ryan Gandy. Big boot forward, streaking on the backside for Oberholzer, but getting there first is Thomas Lee.
Timing's just off for both teams on the long crosses. The wind is part of it. It's also early on in the game, trying to get your timing down.
King playing catch with Day, and it's out of bounds as we get another look at this. The long attempt headed away. And again, that wind coming into play as it hung up just a little bit, and nice job done, as you saw at the very end of the replay there, by Ryan Gandy to get a foot in there. Here's a break the other way, streaking in with a one-on-one now. This is Peak, left it on over on the pass for Stager, a shot and a score! Bradley Stager. Woodberry Forest strikes first, 1-0.
Great job of Peak getting the ball, beating his defenders, setting up the play, and a nice job of Stager coming in to support, getting the opportunity to go on a 2-on-2. I was a little concerned he didn't take the first step or shot there, but a nice cut back. Beautiful left foot here to the near side. Goalie overcommitted to the middle of the field. Should have protected that post just a little bit more, but an easy goal for Stager as a result.
Excellent job by Bradley Stager kind of joining the rush there, as it was initially a 1-on-2, it seemed, with Peak, but as you noted, turning into a 2-on-2, an acute move with kind of almost a crossover there to get himself loose for the shot, and he placed it into the back of the net, and Woodberry Forest is struck first.
In my notes, Stager has 3 goals on the season. Not sure how he did last game, unfortunately, but still, he has those moments where he can provide that extra support from the forward position. And you saw it there with a great give and go with Peak.
So how will Eastern Mennonite respond? First, they turn it over, and it's Woodberry Forest playing it on back for the goalkeeper, Thomas Lee. Long pass to the left wing, and it will sail out of bounds. A throw in, and Eastern Mennonite will try and counter now. Really aggressive to the ball, though, Woodberry Forest.
Well, they want to apply that pressure, and that's what we said in the pregame, where you're going to see 2 different, as the cross goes in and Lee collects it easily, you're going to see 2 different styles. As much as these 2 teams can score, Woodberry Forest certainly a little bit more of a gamble team. They're willing to apply the pressure and try and stop things that way, whereas Eastern Mennonite's a little bit more conservative, trying to keep things in front of them, and that time the pressure, and so far this game, the pressure has played a big factor.
Long run on the right side for Jimmy King. He's beaten to the ball, however. Getting there first was Hostetter, and he tried to play it on forward, but sent it out of bounds. It will be a throw-in.
Looked like a bit of a breakdown in communication between the defense and the goalie on that scenario.
With it now, Foley left it on back for a long attempt that sailed over the crossbar and out of play.
To be honest with you, with this wind, that's not a bad play, because if you get just the right touch, that's the kind of ball that can just drop right over the goalie, who thinks he's got that post covered, but the wind changes the dynamic.
Tough for a goalkeeper to judge, and still this early in the contest. The goal kick taken and cleared all the way back to the other end, as now they'll play it on back for Lee.
Taylor Martin with the boot on the goal kick. Eastern Mennonite not using their goalie, not that uncommon, though I wouldn't say it's certainly the first option. You'd rather have that extra defender up the field. But I was a goalie who didn't take goal kicks either, so.
Park and Lehman fighting. Woodberry Forest comes away with it with Graham Tyler. Played it back once again for Lee. Shows off his boot. On forward to center. Here's Gandy looking for a nice touch for his forward streaking on the left side, being Overholzer. Now Gandy once again, the midfielder. Tried to play pitch and catch with Overholzer, but it's turned over once more. King back to center. Nice little bit of footwork there. Almost getting away was Nolan Day. Countering, though, here, Eastern Mennonite. Possession once again changes. Go ahead.
Eastern Mennonite just struggling with the 1-2 passes and being able to get it onto their teammate's foot. They can't seem to find the range, whereas, as you can see, Woodberry Forest, very good touch.
Here they come on the attack. Another
Great
attempt
job.
and a great save. Challenging that was Luke Hertzler. It was the goal scorer, Stager, who had another go at it on the right foot.
Great goalie effort that time. Quick off his line, coming up there to snuff that one out as you see it again. Good job using his shins. Use every part of your body as a goalie. You don't have to, just because you can use your hands doesn't mean you don't use your shins, your foot, your head, your shoulder, anything you can get a body on the ball.
Extremely aggressive, and it paid off, as now Woodberry Forest playing it on forward. Stager left it back behind. Over to the right wing for King. King touched it on ahead. Corral that center and back on to deep.
Peak was looking for Smith to come down the wing on that one. Smith cut in inside, but a good job of keeping it on his foot was Peak.
Scruggs sneaking up, and he lost it. Countering now will be Gandy. This kid can move. Gandy touched it on forward, a long run for Oberholzer. Can he get there before the sideline? And it does not do so. It goes out of bounds and will be thrown back into Woodberry Forest.
Woodberry Forest just looks like they have more people out on the field. They're playing so well 1 and 2 touch. They're passing so well. They're opening each other up so nicely that Eastern Mennonite looks like it's outnumbered on the field right now.
Stager touched it forward.
Wow.
Here we go on the attack with an odd man. A shot, and it's in the net. Joe Foley. 2-0 Woodberry Forest.
The freshman scores. He has been prolific for this team, and you can thank the far defender for Eastern Mennonite to keeping him on guards. On side, I should say. Jeremiah Schultz way back defensively on the far side, allowing Foley a free run into the goal, and there's just nothing you can do if you're a Hertzler there to stop that.
As you saw, Hertzler tried to come out and challenge once again, see if he cut off the angle, and it seemed like Foley was almost waiting for it and just placed it right where he had room.
A great job, just touch pass over the top is checking in for Eastern Mennonite. Well, I don't have his number down, but checking out of the game will be Benji Oberholzer. But just a nice touch over the goalie. That's a no-win for the goalie. He's got to come off his line to cut it down. He's got to make it a challenge for the forward, but the forward's not being challenged by a defender. He's got all the time in the world to make a decision.
Very talented team, this Eastern Mennonite squad, but they've run into an even more prolific attack so far. It has seemed with Woodberry Forest here leading 2-0 in the first half.
And it starts with the defense. There's a long boot up and we'll go out of bounds. It starts with the defense. You know, that conservative approach is nice if you keep things in front of you, but it also gets you back on your heels a little bit too much. And I think that's what's happening here for Eastern Mennonite. They're back on their heels. They're not reacting to the 1-2 touches. They're not reacting to the Tigers who have speed coming up the field. They've got to get maybe a little bit more aggressive on defense to cut off the passes.
On the far side, this is Park now moving up towards center. Nice touch onto midfield. Played it on back to D. Long pass coming towards your screen. Fighting for it and poking it away was Jimmy King. He left it on back for Nolan Day, and they'll play it once again back to Lee.
And another thing, 50-50 balls. Big thing in soccer. You need to win 50-50 balls, and right now Woodberry Forest is controlling that. Whether it's in the air or on the ground, they're getting to the ball faster, they're reacting to the ball faster. Eastern Mennonite's just a step behind, having to play defense the whole time.
Here they come on the attack once more.
Just see the aggressiveness from Peak there on the 50-50.
Peak lost possession of it, cleared back away, trying to keep it in at D. Ball loose at midfield. Run down, there's a whistle.
And now the problem for Eastern Mennonite, more and more guys are getting back into the defensive side of things. As a result, when you try and go in transition, you have less guys to play it up to up top. That's going to be a little bit of a problem for them, as well as you get a direct kick from just over midfield.
Taking it for Woodberry Forest, Graham Tyler sending it forward, and nicely done aggressively there by Luke Hertzler. Got there before Joe Foley, the prolific goal scorer, could.
Great ball into the box there, but Hertzler read it well, got out of the box as quickly as he could, and was able to shut things down from being another opportunity for Foley.
Pass intercepted on the far side. Here they are on the counter now. Stager back to Foley, forward once again, and Hertzler is the first one to the ball as he inhales it.
Woodberry Forest on offense just playing tighter and more compact, so their passes to their teammates are 10 yards at most, whereas Eastern Mennonite's more spread out. That long pass is harder to complete every single time without the defensive interrupting. And so far, as we see, 2 goals, and the ball's been in the defensive end for Eastern Mennonite. I would say at least 2/3 to 3/4 of this game so far.
Let's check in on the sidelines with Trey Wilson.
Well, thank you. So far in this game, Coach Mills has been very satisfied with what he has seen, the intensity and the pressure from Woodberry Forest in this game. He wants them to keep up the intensity, keep attacking the goal. He's happy with the looks that they've gotten so far. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Trey. Back to the action and on the attack. Eastern Mennonite trying to gather something.
Good opportunity here.
Have a corner kick forthcoming.
Problem is this is into the wind, so you're either going to have to give it a good boot to get it to the backside or at least try and put a nice floater in.
One of the captains, Matthew Stoltzfus, who keeps it on the ground, had a go at it, and it will be cleared away by Woodberry Forest.
Lehman tried to one-touch that into the box and didn't get a good foot on it. Look for a handball there, but no call, as once again Woodberry Forest putting up the pressure as the ball will go out of bounds.
So a throw in from the far sideline on the attack for Woodberry Forest, here leading 2-0 in the first half of this one.
Unofficially, probably about 23 minutes left in the half, so we're about halfway through here. And it's been so far all Woodberry Forest.
On the far side, looking for an attempted cross, coming in with it now. Poked out of bounds, and we may have an injured player. That seems like both are having trouble getting up. That's Edo Douglas to his feet from Woodberry Forest, and I believe Taylor Martin, and they're both up. Seem to be okay.
Good challenge by Martin trying to keep that from being a cross, but I think both of them kind of banged knees. That's the reason they both kind of had a little trouble getting up as we prepare for the corner.
See if we can see on the replay exactly what happened, and we'll interrupt that for the corner kick. It's bent into the box and poked around off of the foot. It looked like a Foley.
Yeah. And Hertzler had come out but overcommitted, got past the ball. All Foley had to do was settle that and touch it in, but he also was surrounded by defenders. So Hertzler avoids the mistake there, and they'll get another boot here, and this one will come from Vrolik.
Vrolik has taken the majority of these kicks. Has a big foot, and we'll see it now. 50-50 ball at center again, and again it's Woodberry Forest coming away with it.
And they'll play it back to Lee. They're more than happy to play it back. That's another thing that we've seen, whereas Eastern Mennonite's been a little bit more nervous to play it backwards. Sometimes the best way to go forwards in soccer is to actually go backwards. Set things up through your back defense or through your goalie. Sometimes you can switch the field that way, as you can see there. Scruggs with a long pass back to the goalie, and Eastern Mennonite tentatively coming up to pressure.
Got to ask, what do you think of the style choice here for the for each of the goaltenders? They're both going a little bit of green, and especially in the rainbow. We'll talk about it after this chance.
You can't miss them, that is for sure.
You know who was the goalkeeper. Nice touch playing it forward, but getting to it first was Woodberry Forest. Long pass up ahead, Peak with it looking for Stager, but it is taken away by Jeremiah Schultz.
Both guys also long sleeve. You'll see a lot of short sleeve, but today's a good day for a long sleeve with padding on the elbows. Ball goes out of bounds. Will belong to Eastern Mennonite. Here's that cross from earlier on. Watch, Hostel just missed it. Was in a bad spot and got lucky as Foley couldn't bring the ball down.
One of the better chances that Eastern Mennonite has had thus far. Throw in here with Brett Betchler. Just came into the game over his head, and it is headed away by Woodberry Forest, and the Tigers trying to get another attack, but played back and forth at center here. Now here they come. Long pass from Will Peak.
Yeah, just a little too far. Good idea. He's trying to catch Jimmy Smith coming down the wing, but just put a little too much foot on that one. And it's an easy pickup in the goal box.
So handling the ball now and booting it away is Luke Hertzler. At center, played off the left foot, looking on forward. Eastern Mennonite going to give it a go, but first knocking it out of bounds was Woody Scruggs. Seemed like we've said his name a lot. The midfielder has been busy thus far in this game, often first to the ball.
Really the back right defensive back for this team, and he's playing extremely well. He's also come up on offense nicely and get a free kick here for Eastern Mennonite. Maybe they can do something threatening here. They've got the wind a little bit to their advantage here. They can maybe get this into the box. He'll take another look. Not sure what the foul might have been.
There it is, right there.
A little tripping. Jimmy Smith coming in late.
Got his left foot in there and hooked it.
The ball came into the box, but a little too far out to do anything threatening, and Woodberry Forest will get a free kick here on the goal line. Not a free kick, goal kick, I should say.
Just play it on forward. Easily taking their time, the Tigers, with this 2-0 lead. Long one that goes to the left wing. Stager, who had the first goal of the match, couldn't keep it on his toe, and it goes trickling out of bounds once more.
We talk about it in the pregame that, you know, when Eastern Mennonite wins, they score 5.4 goals a game, but they average just over 3 total, which means in losses, they struggle to get something going offensively. So far, that's what we're seeing here. They're really struggling on the offensive end. A lot of pressure back on the defensive side of the ball. Woodberry Forest is applying that pressure, and that's going to be trouble unless the offense can figure things out and the transition can help. Eastern Mennonite's going to be playing a mainly defensive game.
Really has been all or nothing for this road standing squad today. Long ball forward, and it will be the goalkeeper, Hertzler, coming to get it.
That's a little bit of miscommunication. Jimmy coming up, ball went over his head. Sometimes that's also just a touch. You expected it to not jump off of your foot as much as it does.
The big right foot of Luke Hertzler sent it forward, and a backwards head from Mario Hernandez. But Woodbury Forest comes away with it.
Oof.
Long one on the left wing. Foley left it on back for his D.
It was like Ito Douglas got stepped on in the play.
Stager with it in the box, and he lost control.
I'd like to have seen Peak just shoot that one, try to take the extra dribble, ended up losing the ball, but he had a great opportunity from about 12 yards out just to unleash that one. Might not have been on the foot he likes to shoot on.
It's a nice effort from Stager there to get control of that ball that leads to the corner kick here. There it is.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And the header from Foley just a little bit over the crossbar. Nicely executed, though, by Woodbury Forest, and a beautiful cross on that corner kick in. Foley, who is not a small boy, comes in to almost bang it home.
That's a great opportunity. They beat the defense back, so it was pretty much a one-on-one opportunity for Foley. Just couldn't get the ball down. He's a freshman, remember, everybody.
Doesn't look like it out there.
No, he doesn't, but he's got plenty of years here to master that head ball and try and knock it downward instead of at the top part of the goal.
Long run, and Woodbury Forest gets there first, booting it out of bounds. Near side throw-in.
Eastern Mennonite just trying to figure things out. They're trying to get too cute with their passes. You know, they need to find the way to kind of 1-2 and go and give and goes, and as much as they can, find each other on the ground.
Here's Jimmy King.
Great communication.
You heard Jimmy being called out by, that was Will Peak. Just the ball was a little bit off, a little high.
A little high, but a good job of recognizing where he was getting the request from and seeing it, and Peak finding his way into an open spot as the ball bounces right back to Woodbury Forest.
Here we go again as Peak gave it a go, and a long run for Stager. He couldn't get there in time. It was a little bit long once again. 2 in a row with just a little bit too much heat on those balls.
I think Peak was looking up, saw the goalie maybe out of position and tried to go for a long shot and couldn't get it off the ground.
Nice touch from Stager looking to peek in. Getting there first, however, was Jeremiah Schultz.
And also coming in on the backside was Douglas again, looking for an opportunity. They just come with numbers, and that's the amazing thing is this flat 3 with basically a triangle in the middle and 2 wingers. They're essentially playing a 4-4-2, but they spin it around more into a 3-1 and then kind of play 2 guys in the middle in the midfield, and then 2 guys at the wing allows them to fire midfielders up on the wings very easily.
On that replay, you got to look at how the play was developing, and it was almost an absolute beaut set up there by Stager and Peak. Now with the ball on his boot, playing it forward was Scruggs.
Great one-touch passes to each other. They're all at 90-degree angles. We can talk about that down the road, but you always want to be 90 degrees from your teammate to give him an easy pass.
Lehman.
Good job getting back on defense.
Turned over, left wing, long run coming up from the backside for Carter Friddle. Crossed it into the box, Foley with the left foot. Save made, nicely done by Luke Hertzler. Foley didn't get a lot of heat on that one, but still putting the pressure on.
Hertzler had cut down the angle, being about 5 yards out of his box, but then Foley having to go left foot, probably not his favorite option, and didn't get all of it, and so Hertzler makes a nice save, diving to his right.
Hertzler's punt goes to midfield. That was Gandy, played to the right side. Turned over once again to the Tigers. Long boot, up in the air, it floats briefly and is headed out of bounds. It looked like it was Taylor Martin, but no, getting there first on the sideline on a long run was Jeremiah Schultz once again.
Here you look at that opportunity for Foley again.
Beautiful cross, and Foley keeps it on his foot. He played it to the left because that was the only angle he had, it looked like.
Yeah, and he had to play it. He had to shoot quick as the defense was coming in, and that just kind of contributes to not getting the best look he wants. Of course, he already has a goal today, has over 10 on the season.
Ball at center. Stepping in and corralling it was Lehman. Got it to Hernandez.
And then Jimmy Smith steals it yet again. It's just Woodbury Forest knowing where the passing lanes are, shutting those down, kind of like basketball. You always told to defensively put your hand in the passing lane if you're one pass away. Well, this defense is making sure to get their bodies in the way of those easy passes.
Really kind of puts a little bit more pressure on them. Of course, that's what they've talked about leading up into this game, but you have to be really crisp with those passes to get it through them with the feet getting in the way.
The high pressure coming from Woodberry Forest defensively and pretty much all 120 yards indicates you've got to pressure or make good passes. And right now, Eastern Mennonite's struggling in that department. As checking into the game is Ryan Gandy again. He plays basically the top of the triangle in the middle of the midfield, though right now more of an offensive head.
It seemed like Gandy and Oberholzer had a couple of chances at it. Now a long run that is booted away.
Eastern Mennonite shying away from the 50-50 balls where Woodberry Forest more than happy to try and play through them. Here comes Scruggs again, coming out of the defense.
On the right wing, sent it on forward. Here's a chance at it. Nice little touch for Peak, but slid into and booted away by Billy Smith. Nicely done.
Oh, that's a terrific job of Billy Smith coming back on help. He
another look at that chance here. You'll see what you're talking about.
Just doesn't give up on the play. Great opportunity for Peak. Slides in and takes it away.
Long chance and a long run for Eastern Mennonite, but the Tigers are there first. Here's Billy Smith once more.
A good job of Tracy in the back there coming in to sweep up the play. They play a flat three, according to their head coach, and it wasn't Tracy, I should say. It was Graham Tyler, one of the other co-captains on this team, tri-captains. They play a back flat three, but he plays a little bit more sweeper role so far in this game.
Another chance, here we go. Long run with Peak in center waiting for it. Curl away and leave it on back. That's Nolan Day, sent it forward. Peak a header. Nicely done on the save made by Hertzler. An excellent cross, and Will Peak, the senior out of Wilmington, North Carolina, just waiting there for it. He got himself in position and kind of posted up, waiting for the cross, and he got his chance.
Great play across the board, to be honest with you. You'll check it out again. Great cross. Peak with a good opportunity, and a great job by Hertzler just staying at home and reacting to the head ball. The only thing I would have probably knocked on the play was the defender gave Peak too much room, but otherwise, across the board, a great play by both teams.
Gandy has been all over the field. The midfielder leads the team in scoring, hasn't been able to get much going offensively, nor have the Eastern Mennonite team. Coming back from D now for Woodberry Forest. Long run from Scruggs, looking on forward, challenging. It's Hertzler, and it will go towards the corner, though keeping possession. Woodberry Forest left it on back for another attempt. Nicely defended. Can't get much going on a counter with Oberholzer. Looked like he overran the ball just a touch.
Hertzler did a nice job of coming out, cutting down the angle, and then forcing the ball to go to the outside. Offensive player only had one option in mind. It was to use his right foot. And it was Walmsley to use his right foot to push the ball to the left. If he could have gotten on his left, he might have had an opportunity.
Here they come once again on the attack. And coming in to boot it away was Alec Vrolik.
Cleared the ball, as is his job in the center of that defense, is clear out the danger. And he was able to capitalize on a missed touch in the middle of the field.
Seems like he's kind of been the last line of defense other than the goalkeeper, Hertzler.
They're pretty much playing a sweeper back there with him. Four guys back. He's basically playing sweeper. And as the title describes, your job is to sweep it up. And you sweep up anything that comes your way, you clear it out. You're the last guy before that goalie's got to make a play, and you want the goalie to make as few plays as possible, but he got beat here.
Just got back in time to give it an effort. Now a chance at it. Crossed in the center. A shot and a score. It was Jimmy King. Beautiful touch on the setup, and it's 3-0 Woodberry Forest.
That's a way to crash the box, as they say. Come in hot, crash the box. I believe that was Walmsley who set it up on a nice touch pass. He got past Farik defensively. You'll see it here. Here he's on the far side. Good job of hesitation dribble, beats Farik, and then a nice touch pass in the middle. Jimmy Smith crashing, and unfortunately back there was defensively was Billy Smith, who wasn't playing the man. He was trying to play in the middle of the goal, and kind of got to feel bad a little bit for Luke Hertzler here. He has been absolutely, almost the entire game has been in his box, and he's doing the best he can I feel bad for him, certainly as a former goalie, because I think he's playing well. He's just getting too many opportunities for Woodberry Forest coming down the middle of the field.
To say he's been busy would be an understatement, and really no chance on the beautiful one-time setup there, and Jimmy King just banged it home to make it 3-0 here for Woodberry Forest.
Clock being kept on the field by the main official. So unofficially, I think we got about 8 minutes left in this half, 45-minute halves. And of course, 3-0 lead. There's going to be a lot of talking by Eastern Mennonite at halftime of what they need to do to adjust. And I'm wondering if they have the ability to get out of this conservative approach and get aggressive. So far, they haven't shown it. Back on their heels a lot.
Peak with a long one and looking to the backside for the cheating up Woody Scruggs, but it was intercepted. Now they get it back. Another chance at it with Walmsley. Walmsley put it around the defense. Now nicely done, as you see. Taking it back, Nolan Day. Forward into the box, and defensively taking it away is Eastern Mennonite, but the pressure continues. The all 120 yards, like you talked about, Dave.
Yeah, it's just they're all over the place are the Tigers, and good ball movement, keeping the ball on the ground as well. But then defensively, they get back quickly, they react quickly, and they're just shutting down options as Walmsley tries to fight his way up to the ball, and he'll get kicked out of bounds. So a throw in from the short side.
They're relentless, they really are, as Walmsley, seemingly since he's checked into the game, has been constantly on the ball, as he is once again right now. Walmsley tried to touch it on forward, but getting there first was Jaden Hostetter.
Yeah, tried to get Woody Scruggs, and just not enough pace on the ball. Scruggs pushing up, by the way, right now as he's up in the offensive end, the defenseman midfielder.
That one went off of the right foot of Foley, I believe.
It's one of those things where basically Woodberry Forest can sense that they got a chance to put this game away completely by halftime. Not that 3-0 isn't complete, but against a prolific offense, you want to get as many goals as you can, and if you can put them down by halftime, that's a great victory before you've even gotten off the field.
Nicely done by Vrolik there, getting his head in the way of the long ball attempted by Woodberry Forest. Here they come again. Kevin Tracy looking on forward, streaking down the right side, and getting to it is Woody Scruggs. Crosses it into the box. Defense was there and pouncing on it, the goalkeeper, Luke Hertzler.
Ball a little bit behind Peak. Peak tried to back heel it in the air, and the two defensemen and the goalie waiting for him to do something. Again, it's almost like they're toying with the Eastern Mennonite defense at this point.
Booted back towards center. This is Gandy. Long one for Cameron Byer, but it is out and will go back in possession of Woodberry Forest.
Just saw the Peak opportunity again. He just overcommitted to the near side. Scruggs' pass was a little bit behind him. He tried to back heel it in between two defenders, and it's just not going to happen. It's just, if that had gone in, it'd been more miraculous than anything.
On the near side, last touch it looks like by Woodberry Forest and Walmsley.
That being said, when you lead 3-0, you think anything's going to happen at this point. I've been in games like this where the final score ends up 10-0, and it just seems like everything you do is successful.
It seems like they've had that swagger since the game started, that got the early goal and just get the confidence going. They come out here, they haven't lost at home in quite some time. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's been since back in 2013, almost a full year. Nicely done there by Vrolik to get in the way, but the ball seemingly not leaving this side of the field.
Yeah, a nice job of sweeping it up, as midfield is not succeeding very well in controlling the ball and transitioning on offense. And that triangle in the middle is kind of not working the way it's designed to, as two of the guys are falling way back on defense.
Foley controlling the ball. Touched it on back. This is Scruggs. Long one.
Good luck.
Nicely done to get up and to get his hands on that one by Hertzler.
Hertzler had to stay at home. That one's a nice little shot from outside the box that had intentions of going back corner, but kind of leaked back into the middle of the goal. And Hertzler just had to stay at home and not overcommit.
First to the ball, but losing possession was Oberholzer. Here they come on the counter once again. Walmsley giving it a go. Nicely done once more by Luke Hertzler to challenge that one and get it off of the dangerous foot.
Walmsley tried to go up and over him, but Hertzler made himself as big as possible, was able to deflect that ball up into the air and out of danger.
Here's the ball at mid. This is Tracy. Sent it on forward to Peak, one touch. Trailing the play, and back again for Peak with a left foot save made. Not out of danger yet, though another chance that it went off the chest of Jaden Hostetter.
Actually went off his arm, but because his arm was parked on his chest, it's the ball playing the arm again. There were some requests for a penalty kick, but a good no call by the official. But a great one touch there to get Peak an opportunity, and Hertzler coming up big. If Hertzler's not playing as well as he is right now, this is a 6 or 7-0 game already.
They'll play it all the way back to Thomas Lee. Hasn't touched the ball in a while.
You got to keep the goalie fresh. Got to play it back to him, make sure he's ready.
Nearing the end of the first half.
Yeah, unofficially about 3 minutes left. We'll see how much time the referee stopped for the 3 goals.
With the ball at center once again, Walmsley. Walmsley with a right foot. Sent it far wide of the cage.
Probably a little over greedy there. I don't know if he was looking for maybe a good shot on opportunity. You'll see that nice touch to Peak there. Great left foot.
It was a wonderful chance and an excellent save by the goalkeeper, kind of a kick save. And
yep, and then you see the ball go off the chest or off the arm, which was planted to the chest. A little known thing that people just don't fully appreciate in soccer is, yes, it was a handball in the sense that it hit his hand, but if it is on his body or the ball plays him and he doesn't make any effort to move his arm, it's not going to get called anymore. It's just not fair to the defender to call him for something he didn't do.
Park played it on back once again. At center with it, Day. Good challenge there, though, by Lehman to keep an attack going. Turned over once more on the far side of the field.
Oh, missed the opportunity as far side. Nice run after giving up the ball there. Just didn't see it, was the midfield. As Carter Friddle made a nice run.
Being headed back and forth now, trading blows. Walmsley plays it for Tracy. Touched it on forward to Woody Scruggs. Back now to Tracy, who played it off of the foot of Cameron Byer. They'll keep the pressure on, they being Woodberry Forest.
Yeah, Eastern Mennonite just flat on their heels, too. There was an opportunity there, and they missed it to keep the pressure up, as back on his heels was Gandy, who just didn't expect the ball to come towards him. And a free kick here.
Free kick for Eastern Mennonite.
But you just saw it from Gandy. He reacted late, and that allowed Woodberry Forest's defense to collect the loose ball. Eastern Mennonite just looks, I mean, they are flat on their heels. Halftime, see what Coach presents as a pep talk to see if he can get these guys to wake up a little bit and get aggressive on offense. But look at that defense.
Just can't keep the ball on their feet, Eastern Mennonite, for long, as Woodberry Forest just swarming constantly with possession. They'll touch it on forward once again, and briefly Eastern Mennonite sends it forward, and coming in for the ball there was Lehman, but he seemed like he let it go, thinking there was someone else behind him.
He didn't even come to the ball. He kind of was waiting for it to come to him. It took a bounce to his side, and he kind of didn't go after it, and that's been the problem, is Woodberry Forest has been all over the ball no matter where it is, whereas Eastern Mennonite has been waiting for the ball to come to them.
Here's a long run and nicely done by the last line of defense. Once again, Alec Vrolik booting it away.
Hey, I love a sweeper who plays like that. He's willing to get to the ball and just boot it out of bounds if he has to. Clean it up, quit giving them opportunities. He's playing a pretty solid game as we get the final whistle here at halftime.
So, after one half of play, 45 minutes in the books, and Woodberry Forest with a 3-0 lead over Eastern Mennonite. And here in the first half, we've talked a lot about it throughout the play, Dave, but it really has been winning the 50-50 balls for Woodberry Forest, and they're the first ones to the ball, and they're playing with such crisp passes and just so aggressive.
Yeah, they're playing aggressive. They're playing up-tempo. Exactly what their coach said they wanted to do. They came out of the gates playing aggressive and playing well. They haven't had to start themselves up. I think the conservative play from Eastern Mennonite has hurt them a little bit here in the first half. Don't know if they can fix that. But, yeah, winning 50-50s, staying aggressive offensively and defensively, and moving the ball extremely well. Both for Woodberry Forest, very impressed with how they've been able to ball movement. And really, I think they're just kicking it back to their goalie to keep them in the play.
I know that Trey Wilson currently is hunting down the head man for this Woodberry Forest team that has been just absolutely so impressive, and we'll be looking forward to see what he has to say about how they keep this going, because just it's been sheer domination and to not get complacent.
He's got to be happy with how his team has played in this first half, and especially pretty much sticking to the tenets of what they like to do as an offense.
And Trey is ready now. We'll check in with Trey Wilson.
Coach Mills, as you wanted scoring early and then kept the pressure on, what was working for you guys in the first half?
Just moving the ball well and keeping our lines tight between our defense, midfield, and forwards. And that enabled us to get a lot of give and goes, 1-2s, wall passes. And so we were able to play the ball quickly and play the ball together. We're spreading them out, knocking the balls out wide, getting some good services in and some good creative runs. Our movement on the ball and movement off the ball has also been very good.
How are you looking to keep the pressure on in the second half?
Just coming out the same way, just making sure that we're applying that high pressure right from the beginning. Again, that's our game, that's our style. We're going to come at you.
Thank you very much, Coach. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Trey. As once again, your halftime score, Woodberry Forest leading it 3-0, and we will step aside for a halftime break. Once again, this is Woodberry Forest Soccer, brought to you by DMVstream.com.
My name's Harrison Stewart. I'm the Director of Admissions at Woodberry Forest School and also a member of the class of 1998. This fall we are celebrating our 125th anniversary. It's been 125 years that motivated boys have been coming to Woodberry Forest, and if you have someone in your family or if you know of someone who may have some interest in attending Woodberry Forest or just taking a look, don't hesitate to be in touch. The process runs all the way through the fall up until February 1st, which is our first round application deadline, and we're here to be helpful to you. We'd be delighted to have you to campus. Come spend the night on dorm, go to a couple of classes, and see what it's all about. See why guys have been coming to Woodberry for 125 years and what makes us.
Greetings from Woodberry Forest School and the Alumni Office. My name is Dodi Chavez. I'm the Director of Alumni Relations and a graduate of the class of 1985. This opening school year marks the 125th anniversary of Woodberry educating boys. And all throughout the year, we will be commemorating this great accomplishment by coming to visit your area. Please go to the website and look to see where we will be. If your graduating year ends in a 4 or a 9, please mark your calendar for next spring. April 25th through 26th is your reunion. You will not want to miss it. I also encourage you to get involved with your regional association. Go to the website and check out all of our alumni regional associations and see where you can help.
And we welcome you back. We welcome you back in once again here to Woodberry Forest. Brian Gardner and Dave McHugh with Trey Wilson on the sideline for a 3-0 match between Woodberry Forest and Eastern Mennonite, and it's been absolutely just domination on one side of the ball here, Dave.
Yeah, we said in pregame that my concern was being conservative on your defense if you're Eastern Mennonite versus a team who's going to step up and try and be as aggressive as possible across the field in Woodberry Forest could result in that could be the difference in the game, and that is the difference in the game right now. Woodberry Forest is being extremely aggressive on offense and extremely aggressive on defense. They're getting into the passing lanes. They're winning 50-50 balls. They're taking that next step. They're being aggressive. And Coach talked about it when we heard him just a couple minutes ago, talking about the team is compact. They're staying in their lines. They're finding their opportunities to make quick passes and find give and goes and quick opportunities. Early on, they struggled a little bit with the wind, struggled a little bit with crossing options. It wasn't ideal for them in that scenario. The wind has died down. That may have played a factor, but they also stopped playing the ball in the air as much. They started playing it down on the ground just a little bit more, and every goal they've scored so far has pretty much been an on-the-ground kind of opportunity for them. If you're Eastern Mennonite, you got to be concerned with how much the ball is in the defensive third of the field. They're having trouble getting it up the field. They clear it, it comes right back at them. It's up in the 50-50 area in the midfield. Midfield can't control it, and it comes right back at them. Or the midfield gets it, and they can't find the offense. They can't find the forwards or the 1-4. They can't find the wings from the midfield, and it comes right back at them. Eastern Mennonite is struggling just a little bit, especially on the defensive, not really the defensive end, but the midfield is where they're losing the ball and losing control of this game.
Well, how can they really fix what has gone wrong for them? Because it's looked like at times that they've been absolutely overmatched, and we know that this is a talented team based off of what they've done all season long.
They're back on their heels. They got to get back up on their toes. They got to get a little bit more aggressive. They got to find ways of making quick passes. Instead of taking the ball, looking at your feet, then looking up, going, where am I going to pass the ball? That allows the defense to get in position. Make the pass. Get into the wings. Get into the opportunities that you can be there. We talk about being 90 degrees from a ball. If a guy's facing here, he needs to have two options at least to either in front, sideways, or behind him that he can make a quick pass to. If you can start making quick passes in the midfield and transition into the offense and get the flow going and get Woodberry Forest back on their heels, you've got an opportunity. The problem is they cannot control the ball in the midfield right now, and the ball's coming right back. Whether it's a clear, it comes right back at them. A bunt comes right back at them. A goal kick comes right back at them. They are struggling, and then that pass to the forwards or at least up to the wings is just not there. Woodberry Forest is shutting down passing lanes. They got to get Woodberry Forest back on their heels. It's
been a surprisingly, especially since he's given up 3 goals, but a very impressive effort from the goalkeeper Hertzler on the Eastern Mennonite side, because the ball's been on his side of the field the entire game, and he's been aggressive going to get the ball, going at attacking on these chances, and has made a lot of those sliding saves with his feet.
If he's not as aggressive as he's been, if he hasn't made some great saves that he has already, this is a 7-0 game. He is playing extremely well. And Vorik back on the sweep has done a pretty good job of trying to clear off some dangerous opportunities, though he's been beat too. He's a little bit of a slower sweeper, which sometimes isn't that big a deal because your whole idea is you're keeping the ball in front of you and you want to clear the ball off. Right now, the defense is not their major problem. Their major problem is the midfield, and right now they play a triangle in the middle in this 4-5-1, and that triangle's evaporated. 2 of the guys seem to be playing mainly in the defensive end. As a result, when you have more and more players back on defense, you have less opportunities to get the ball up the field because you need to take more time to find the guys on the wing as we start to look at highlights here in the first half. And this was that first opportunity for Scruggs, I think it was. Nice cut back there and a nice job of finding the back of the net.
Look at Stager here get his goal. I believe this was Foley. The first with Stager with Foley, who buries it from far away, the leading scorer. I believe that was his 10th goal of this contest so far, and this will be the 3rd goal on the long cross.
Actually, that was
the
Foley's
there.
Yeah, Foley with another look inside. Couldn't get that one to come down, and then this was the other opportunity. Nice job of getting down to the wing, a little hesitation dribble. Actually, there was a good job of defense of just trying to clear them out. The defense is just overwhelmed. Nice cross in the middle, nice look, great save there by Hertzler. And that's that scenario. It could have been another easy goal there for Peak for Woodberry Forest.
What you'll see that as the theme of these, it's consistently been Woodberry Forest. And Woodberry Forest with the chances. Woodberry Forest putting them away, and there's that 3rd goal from Jimmy Smith.
And it's just the 1-2 touch. It's the nice give-and-go pass, and there's another look there from Scruggs, getting that one inside. Hertzler staying at home, not being overly aggressive, doing a nice job there. They've just got to find a way to 1-2 touch things, and so far that's been their struggle. Again, nice pass out of the midfield, up to the forward. Here comes Woodberry Forest with aggression. Hertzler with a nice stop that time, or you see 2 guys sitting in the middle waiting for that pass to bury it in the back of the net.
It's been, they say sometimes that being a goalkeeper is the absolute loneliest job in sports, and now we'll get ready and we'll check in with Trey Wilson on the sideline.
Thank you, Brian. Coach Shank, early deficit. What do you want to do to turn this around in the second half?
Our guys need to wake up. They've been quiet and lethargic, so I want them talking.
Thank you very much, Coach. Back up to you, Brian.
Well, short and sweet.
In a few words.
But he's right. The team has got to wake up a little bit. They've been back on their heels. They've got to get aggressive here, and Coach has a good point. This team needs to kind of snap out of it, and we'll see what happens as we get ready to start the second half.
So we should also note that it seems like we're starting to get just a wee bit of precipitation here. Nothing heavy right now, but to see if that comes into play with the ball maybe getting a little bit more slick, see something maybe a little bit more mishandled, especially for the goalkeepers.
Changes the dynamic. New goalie, by the way, in the box for Woodberry Forest. I believe that is Randolph Walker, the sophomore from Charlotte, though, to be honest, it could also be Jonas Steuter from Germany, but I believe it is Walker. But, yeah, the rain will change the dynamic here. This is a short cut grass. As you see, the ball skipped almost immediately on the pass back And so there'll be a corner kick opportunity here for Eastern Mennonite. This is an opportunity they need to take advantage of. But the rain will make the field slick. It'll make the ball skip instead of bounce. For goalies, you now have to be more conservative, stay back a little bit, and let the ball come to you a little bit more. But especially with passes, you're not going to hit your target as easily because the ball's going to slide a little bit more on the turf.
Quick chance and a huge chance to get back into this thing, possibly get the first goal of the game, as the corner that goes right towards the goalkeeper and going up to get it was Randolph Walker. Brings it on in. And he will boot it away with a big right foot. A lot of carry on that one. It will bounce right around midfield. Sent on back towards the attacking side and a long run, and having a chance at it here with the leading scorer, Ryan Gandy. Almost got there first, trying to touch it away. And Gandy with a golden chance there, almost able to poke it away from the netminder and have a chance at an open net.
Interesting decision in a 3-0 game to switch goalies. Of course, immediately gets pressure in this one. And so we'll see. We'll watch that. Comes in a little cold. You know, we got halftime to warm up a little bit. We'll see how that transitions. Nice cross.
Nobody home, though, as it was just a little bit long. Here's the pass up to Gandy, who tried to play it backwards and controlling it. It was knocked off of his boot.
Just a little bit over Peak's head. Wind, as we said, the wind has died down a little bit. It's still gusting a little, but it's not nearly as significant as it was at the beginning of the game.
So the throw in on the far side right next to the bench of Woodberry Forest. They'll try and get the pressure that they had the entire first half back. That one is sent on forward once again.
Eastern Mennonite coming to the ball a little bit better that time. Nice give and go to the wing.
Here we go with a long run, battling on the far side and taken away. That was excellent, done by Jimmy King once again.
Trouble.
Oh,
over the net. Oh.
Just missing to the top end, and you can see it just hanging right on top of the cage.
That is the worst feeling as a goalie, to see a ball going over your head because you're out of position. That was actually a terrific idea by Lehman, who saw the goalie out of position on a bad clearance. You see him here from 35, 40 yards out, just pops it, just can't get it to drop below the crossbar.
So they said that they had to wake up coming out of halftime. It seems like they have, they being Eastern Mennonite here, and we'll see if they can mount some more pressure right now with the ball controlled at center, and Martin tried to play it to the left. No one really retaining possession right now as Gandy heads it.
Coach might have been a few words with us. I promise you he wasn't a few words to his team. He was probably had a few words to express how this team needs to wake up. They've gotten some opportunities here. Take advantage of a goalie who really hasn't been in it. As you can see now, it's raining. Temperature hasn't changed much, with the wind, as you can see, is up a little bit from pregame.
It does feel that the gusts are kind of picking up, but early, at some point early in that half.
But the constant wind is gone.
Yes.
It's the gusts that have picked up, but the constant wind has kind of disappeared, which adds a whole nother dynamic. Is it gusting or not?
It could make things very interesting as we move forward. A long run here. Let's see if something can develop off the cross here, and nicely done. It looked like that was the big sweeper once again, getting in the way, being Alec Vrolik.
Vrolik's playing well back there. He's a big guy. He knows what to do with the ball to clear it off the line, and so far he's done a nice job. Nice give and go here for Eastern Mennonite.
Long run up ahead.
Good opportunity.
Smith on the right side, left it back for Gandy. See if Gandy can make something happen. Turns on the jets. Gandy throws on the brakes, controls it. Gandy still with it now. Gandy cross, and excellent job getting a foot in the lane there by Jimmy King. Here we go again with Mennonite.
I was actually a little disappointed that he didn't continue down the wing there. Was Gandy, but a nice opportunity. Quick update, in goal, it is actually indeed Jonas Steuer from Germany, the junior, in goal.
So instead of Randolph Walker, it is Steuer in there.
Steuer on basically a one-year exchange program. For lack of a better description, there's a different terminology for it here in the private schools. It's not really an exchange program, but he's here for a year.
Ogburn on the counter.
Oh boy.
Long one, and getting there first, however, was Luke Hertzler.
A dangerous scenario for Hertzler, but I think, and as we take a look at the previous look, you see Gandy cut it back. Nice opportunity here. Somehow gets out of the dribbling scenario and then hooks it into the front. Nice toe poke by Jimmy Smith.
That was some
to clear the
impressive
box.
footwork by Gandy there, showing you how he's been so prolific offensively this season.
Almost a little dangerous, but if you're going to be able to dribble out of a couple of guys in the middle of the box, yeah, hats off.
They seem fired up coming out of the break here. Eastern Mennonite with a few more chances at it now. Played on over to the right wing.
Well, if you're Woodberry Forest, you got to be careful you don't rest on your laurels. You're up 3-0. You've been controlling the game. You got to make sure that you don't think that's how it's going to go out the entire time, that Eastern Mennonite won't adjust. And a nice transition here for the Tigers.
Here comes Edo Douglas. Forward and getting there first to knock it away once again. Vrolik. He's got a nose for the ball back there, the sweeper.
Tried to find Stager. It was a nice goal. It was a nice look to get up to Stager, but Vrolik with a good job of clearing that off.
Here it is at center. Booted on back for Park. To the left wing now, and just a little bit long intended. Looked like it was
Zach
Merritt who couldn't quite get his left foot on it.
Just a little bit too much pepper on the ball as the return pass.
I like that, too much
A
pepper.
little too much pepper.
That's a good one.
Jimmy Smith now playing back on defense. The difference is they've moved Smith back on defense, and Bradley Stager is now playing midfield. Saw that late in the first half, and now we're seeing it here in the second. Jimmy Smith was playing well in the midfield, and Stager, or I shouldn't say Stager, I'm sorry, it's Scruggs. Woody Scruggs played very well. You see him on the ball now. Very well coming out of the defense. Led to an opportunity and a nice cross in there, and Hertzler hauls that one in right before the line.
Big foot there from Edo Douglas coming in on a nice tee up from Scruggs.
He tried to put a little English on it, trying back corner, but Hertzler, check it out again here. Little touch, nice little spin, and Hertzler just hauling that one in.
Got a great shot of that pass there and just sweeping that big right foot in. And here they come on the attack once again. Woodbury Forest getting back in the thick of things, and a long one.
And he saw the ball skip there. It hasn't rained enough, but it's short grass. That's just enough to make this a little bit slick. And you saw now twice where Hertzler has played back on the ball smartly. That one there on a shot, the other one where he just pulled it off of Peak's foot. He played it back because he knew the ball was going to skip towards him. If he plays it up, the ball's going to get past him because of the skip.
Nice little poke check there, getting the foot in by Eastern Mennonite, trying to get possession back, but it seems like Woodbury Forest starting to flex their muscles once again. Smith giving a challenge, and they'll play it back defensively for Park.
A little more aggressive. You see Gandy coming up on the ball. We didn't see that in the first half.
Gandy trying to be that pressure on the top here, but a counter in the other way. A big left-footed attempt that sails well high and over its intended target.
Nolan Day had a nice idea, but he wanted to see where the ball went. And so he brought his head up just as he kicked it. And the cardinal rule in soccer is keep your head down. The reason being you lift your head, you lift your body, you lift your foot. And as a result, Dave brought his head up and the ball went high.
Left wing, tapped at center. Hernandez for Gandy. Gandy crosses it away.
Gandy's playing more aggressive in this second half. It's making a big difference so far. He's controlling more of the ball in the middle of the field.
The junior left it on over once again. This time it's Stoltzfus, one of the captains for this team. He's pressuring the ball now as they turned it over. Coming right into your kitchen now as it was Billy Smith with it. He had it poked off of his foot. They'll move forward. The wind starting to gust a little bit now. And the rain not heavy but steady. Steady, kind of almost a misting drizzle right now.
So far for Eastern Mennonite, you can't rest this game on two guys. There's 11 people on the field. And right now, Gandy's playing well and Hertzler's playing well despite 3 goals. Some other guys have got to have that feeling rub off on them. And if they start all getting aggressive and they all start getting better on the ball, then the tide will change in this game pretty darn quick.
With it now is Lehman. Nice touch, but just a little bit long. It looked like losing his shin guard as he also loses his edge was Billy Smith. He's shedding equipment all the way down the field.
I never wore those shin guards. I never wore the kinds that the socks were the only thing that held them on.
Need a strap in there.
I wore the ones that went around the ankles too and protected your ankles. So
gotta be worried.
They never came off.
Yeah, if you're putting those on to protect your shins, you gotta keep them on.
But shin guards have gotten smaller and smaller these days and easier to get rid of. And it's by choice. It's personal nature.
Booting it away, there was Giannis Stoyer, the goalkeeper currently for Woodbury Forest. The ball being trading possessions at center right now. Coming up for it and taking it will Peak.
His family may be watching in from Germany. If they are, hello. The
Well,
advantages to streaming a game. You
absolutely.
can see it anywhere in the world.
No blackout.
No blackouts. No
Long-
satellite dishes.
Long run on the right side. King crossing it and nicely defended, poking into the passing lane. Big clear away by Eastern Mennonite.
But just look, defense comes right back for Woodberry Forest. Just a nice job of getting back on the ball and not leaving your defense out to dry on an odd man rush.
Park.
Oh, that could be called. Nope, official doesn't call it. Jimmy Smith looked like he used his arm to corral that ball as the ball skipped on the wet surface.
Here they come on the attack on the far right wing. Playing on back for the big boot coming up back from D. And taking that one was Graham Tyler, a little bit long off of the intended target of the goal.
Too far out, I think, to do anything there. I think the better play there was just to be aggressive and keep the dribble and force the defense to come to you.
Nifty move by Day trying to cross, but it is poked away again. Now here we're going to get another long run. Trying to beat the ball to the sideline was Graham Tyler, but could not do so successfully. And it will go back into possession of Eastern Mennonite. We'll take another look at that nifty footwork there by Nolan Day, and it was kind of reminiscent of what, on the other side, Ryan Gandy did earlier in this second half. They're just both kind of showing off their foot skills, controlling that ball and weaving between the defense.
Little defensive switch here, I should say midfield switch, as Billy Smith, the right winger on the midfield, exits the game, and into the game for Eastern Mennonite will come Brett Beckler. And the ball gets played back.
Stoyer will send it on forward to Merritt.
Just see the wide open passings in the lane so far for Woodberry Forest, and that's been the key. Eastern Mennonite struggling to shut those lanes down.
Seemed like right out of the gate that Eastern Mennonite was mounting some more pressure, and we'll see if Gandy can do that now, trying to play it over Park.
But standing still, letting that ball come down. A 50-50 ball right in the middle of the field. Both offensive players for Eastern Mennonite let Tyler have a free opportunity to trap the ball.
Nice touch. Here's a go at it with the left foot, and just getting a piece of the shot that came off of Edo Douglas was Luke Hertzler. He took away the angle, and a very nice run there by Douglas.
Yeah, very nice run, as you can tell. Douglas wants this one back. Nice give and go, turn and look. Douglas with the opportunity. Left foot just misses the back post.
Looked like from the initial angle that it was Hertzler actually getting a hand on it, but no, that one went clear and wide. He was trying to go for that back post, and a perfect shot may have got it there, but a tough angle.
And Hertzler forced the perfect shot. He protected the near post, which is what you're supposed to do. Make a guy go to the back post. It's a harder shot. He tried to go back post and missed it by about a ball.
On the far wing now, playing it forward for Stager. Lost it, booted away by Eastern Mennonite, but kept in on the attack.
And there's an opportunity there where Gandy was flat-footed, sitting back again. I think that impetus at the halftime is kind of gone. I think Eastern Mennonite saw some results but didn't get a goal, and I think that's just kind of gotten them morally a little bit here. They're demoralized a bit and getting a little bit pushy as well.
It was Brett Betchler being knocked down to the turf. It's getting damper and damper now as a big foot coming in and knocking it off of the attack there. Still keeping possession, though, Woodberry Forest coming in and knocking it away. Jaden Hostetter and the Eastern Mennonite squad will try and gather an attack, trying to get it on the toe of Gandy, but he couldn't get there.
Gandy couldn't get his foot on there to trap it. If he does, they've got some momentum because he's got the ball in the middle, can control it. But unfortunately, he couldn't corral the pass. And Woodberry Forest, look at the aggressiveness on a 50-50 ball. That's what Woodberry Forest has been doing all game.
Stager tied up there with Vrolik, and it's getting a little bit more physical out there, it seems, Dave.
I think it's getting more physical for a couple reasons. I think Eastern Mennonite's frustrated, and they don't know how to react. Their tempo has disappeared, as you can see. The opportunity here that Vrolik just cutting it off. That's actually a really good defensive play there, cutting off the offensive player and allowing that ball to go out of bounds. But I think it's getting more physical because Eastern Mennonite's frustrated, and Woodberry Forest is flat out aggressive right now. Their pressure is kind of setting things up like this.
What I was impressed with there by Vrolik was him absolutely just using his size. He beat him to the spot and kind of boxed him out like he's playing basketball and going for a rebound.
I'm not a huge fan of the box out in soccer. I think sometimes it's used a little bit too much to keep a guy from getting the ball. But in that case, I like it because it's right near the end line. It's a quick little play, and Varric did a nice job. Nice back
Stager,
heel.
one touch. Oh, man, that was close. Excellent with a little bit of give-and-go action there with Stager and Will Peak.
And Hertzler, again, aggressive off his line. Check it out again on the replay. You're going to see a nice back heel here, nice look up ahead, and Hertzler crashing in to keep that from getting an easy opportunity for Woodberry Forest.
Absolutely aggressive back there. He's doing a very nice job and played on forward. Now once again, here they come once more. Graham Tyler on the attack up from D. It hit off some feet on the way in and cleared towards the sideline by the defense once more.
And now it's raining far harder. As the field will get more wet, the ball certainly gets wetter as well, and this will make it skip more. But you look at I ever see a game like this where I see a 3-0 score. I may be rare because I used to play goalie. I don't look at the goalie first. I don't consider that he didn't have a good game. I might look at his stats and see how many saves he made. But what doesn't come up are those little clears off the line, getting aggressive, and he's playing a very good game despite the score.
You got to protect your own kind. Look
yeah,
out.
I got to.
It's a fraternity.
You're right.
Fraternity of goalkeepers all around.
I've been impressed with Hertzler. He's playing very well for a junior. He's got a good career. He's got one more year here. He's got the capabilities of maybe even playing at the next level, whether it's Division 1, 2, or 3. I think he's got the intangibles to do well.
Get a look at the free kick set up here. It will be the big foot of Alec Vrolik to take it.
Gets a little bit under the ball when he kicks. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, got a little under it. And as a result, couldn't get it as far up as you want. But at the same time, nobody came to the ball. Eastern Mennonite allowing Woodbury Forest to have it, and now they're control the tempo yet again.
Woody Scruggs on the counter. Forward to Stager. Played it towards the center. Now coming up forward is Patrick Scruggs. Left it on for a backwards little heel tap pass there from Nolan Day, but getting there first was the netminder Hertzler.
That went right to Hertzler on the back heel. He's probably very happy that it went there instead of the other side. A little too cute there maybe on that opportunity. You want to settle that ball down and look for the real pass instead of a back heel.
Great look at Hertzler there as he booted that one away, but immediately he has to get back and ready to defend. Patrick Scruggs touches it on over for Stager. Woody Scruggs with a long one to the back corner, just a little bit wide.
Nice opportunity as he was sliding a little bit in this wet turf. Someone we haven't talked about a lot is Foley. Pretty much because he hasn't played a lot so far in this second half. But check this out, another opportunity. Sliding a little bit, lost his footing as he went to kick it, and it leaked to the left.
That wet field again coming into play. If you have perfect footing there, you might have a better chance to place it where you want.
These are sometimes the conditions where you're thinking about changing your footwear. Now, not everybody has it. I mean, I'll admit I didn't have different kinds of cleats until I got to college. But this is sometimes where guys will look to go to more of a wider studded system to allow them to have more grip on the field than the tight web of regular cleats.
Stager forward and now Peak with a go, and he pulled it wide looking for the upper left corner there.
Yeah, Peak went with his right foot there. Not the opportunity he wants, I think. He doesn't love his left from what we've seen so far, but he's willing to shoot with his left. I think a shot with his left foot there would have been a little bit better. The problem with the right foot on that side is he doesn't have the opportunity to aim for the other angle.
So the goal kick here from Frolik. It's headed backwards.
And once again, Woodbury Forest are the ones who go into those 50-50 balls. I sound like a broken record, I'm sure.
Betchler got there for Eastern Mennonite. We'll see if they can get an attack out of this possession. They were doing it for about the first 10 minutes of the half, and here we go once again with Gandy. Gandy, some nifty dribbling. Gandy with the right foot, and he takes a big cut at it and just a little bit wide.
That's a great effort by Gandy. Nice little pull back with the ball, which is tricky to do in wet conditions when you've got wet cleats, and then a rip from 30 yards out. And honestly, I thought Stroiter had the corner covered, but it was a great job here. Check it out, Gandy. Nice pull back there, nice move, and then just takes the opportunity and rips it. Just missed the corner, though, again. I think Stroyer may have had the corner covered, but it was a nice look by Gandy, and the first real look they've had all game.
From what I've seen from Gandy and his nifty footwork here, he has better foot-eye coordination than most people have hand-eye coordination. That
Absolutely.
kid can handle the ball with his feet.
That ball is basically attached to his foot when he gets it, and he can do whatever he wants with it.
In basketball, you talk about a guy like that who's keeping it on a string.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's absolutely doing that. He can move it wherever he wants.
And then, again, that little on top of the ball move is tricky in wet conditions because your bottom of your cleats are wet, the ball is wet. it's a little harder to make that move with the right amount of touch without putting your foot too hard on the ball or missing the ball completely.
Tyler with a long one looking to the far right wing for Jimmy King, and it's a little bit long.
Unofficially, probably about 24, 25 minutes left to go here in the second half. Of course, the clock kept by the referee on the field.
All 3 goals came in the first half. It was Woodberry Forest striking first and striking early and striking often. Vrolik boots it away, looking forward to Gandy, who cannot quite keep it on his foot, settling it down on the long one. A lot of traveling in the air of that ball.
He's getting aggressive, but he's got no help, and that's the unfortunate thing. If that ball is misplayed by Woodberry Forest, there's another guy who's running in to try and get that ball, and Gandy's being kind of left out on an island a little bit. And granted, a 4-5-1 setup does leave a guy like Gandy out on an island, but he's also the top of the triangle, the midfield. He's really being left out there by himself.
Here's a chance.
Nice.
And he couldn't ever find the angle, he being Edo Douglas, and staying on it was Vrolik.
Oh, Vrolik's the one who shut that down. It was actually a decent opportunity for Douglas, who wanted to get it inside, and Vrolik just stayed with him. He didn't get over aggressive. He stayed between him and the goal, and you see Vrolik just putting his foot there. Well done on defense.
One of the larger guys out on the field, and he moves very well. And it's good on back there in the sweeper position. Here's a one for the back corner, and it was the goalkeeper getting there first as he scampers out. And did he stay inside his area to handle that?
It looked like he let go of the ball to leave it in the box while his body slid out. That is the biggest, I'll admit, one of the biggest things I always worried about as a goalie is if on a wet day you come out near the edge of the box and go sliding. You'll see it here again. You go sliding, you lose control of the ball. He's very aggressive here. He goes running for the ball, stops it there, but then lets go right before the line. You see the far assistant referee, who certainly had an eye on whether that ball was going to cross over the line.
That was either going to be connected with his hands or with the head that was coming in. I believe that was Will Peak, who was coming in on the attack there, number 10 in the white jersey for Woodberry Forest.
Hertzler's playing well, aggressive off his line when he needs to, stays at home when he needs to. That time he probably could have let that ball go, and his midfield could have picked it up, but he wanted to make sure that the Woodberry Forest didn't come streaking in either. Another opportunity. Here's
a chance for Stager, and Vrolik got in the way. He'll poke it away, and it looks like that's going to stay in bounds. Yes, it does so, as Betchler with a long run to get there.
Betchler looking for help. It finally comes over from Lehman, but he can't do anything with it, and it'll be a throw-in, though, here for Eastern Mennonite.
They'll try and get it out of their own zone. A marvelous performance here in the second half by their goalkeeper, Luke Hertzler, who was equally as good in the first half. Hasn't had anything pass him here in the second half, but it's been Woodberry Forest on the attack constantly.
And again, Eastern Mennonite struggling a little bit with getting those passes. That pass previously to try and get up to Gandy, couldn't find Gandy, couldn't connect. They're trying to get a little too aggressive sometimes in their passes, and sometimes not crisp with them either.
Let's check in with Trey Wilson now.
Coach Mills wants to keep up this offensive pressure as they've dominated with the possession all game. But I think when the next couple of minutes, next 2 or 3 minutes, we'll start seeing more and more of the reserves coming in for Woodberry Forest. You can see they're starting to get loose on the sideline. He started telling guys to get ready, but keep the pressure up. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Trey. On the attack once again here, Woodberry Forest, and Eastern Mennonite will take it away.
Yeah, we're in the last quarter of the game at this point, so Coach Mills certainly going to look to go to reserves if they still have this 3-0 lead. But there is the risk. You go to the reserves, and you've got to keep up that pressure that the starting unit has developed and kept in this game. If you start to lax off, then all of a sudden Eastern Mennonite can get some momentum quickly, as we see a number of subs come to the middle of the field now. We'll check in here. So Woodberry Forest looking to get some reserves in here, but they've got to keep the pressure up.
At center, to the right wing now for Betchler. With pressure on him. Played it on back, and they'll move it towards the center of the field once again. Scruggs applying pressure. It's turned over, and now it's Woody Scruggs with it. To the left side for Tyler.
No pressure on him. He can do whatever he wants with the ball.
Park. Here's Gandy and a breakaway. But getting there first is Giannis Stoyer. It was going to be a goal or Stoyer getting to it.
Park with a weak pass backwards. Stoyer coming right off his line quickly and out of the box to clear that ball up, because otherwise if you give Gandy a chance, Gandy was going to score.
Day for Scruggs.
And that's kind of that pressure. You got to keep your mind in this game. It might be 3-0 and you're controlling it, but you got to keep your mind in it too, which means crisp passes back to your goalie and being smart with the ball. You can't let up at all. You'll see it here. Weak pass. Gandy anticipated the pass coming, but Stoyer, good job coming off and out of the box to clear that ball up the field.
You can see it on his Gandy's face there on that replay. He saw Stoyer racing for it, and he knew he wasn't going to get to it first.
Couldn't get there in time. No, but he had him in the perfect opportunity. If he could have gotten there, he would have had probably an easy shot at the empty net.
Long ball from Gandy. He was looking for Betchler on the right side, and again, Giannis Stoyer is there first.
Back to the reserves who will be coming in for Woodberry Forest here shortly. 4 guys. This is also a pride thing for reserves. They want to go out there and show that they can play in this game as well, and give the coach confidence that you can go to them at any point in time in a game. And so they're going to want to keep the pressure up here.
Stoltzfus left it onto the left side, now looking for a long run on the far left wing.
Yeah, he was trying to go to the far side, and Jimmy Smith, nice job of cutting that off again. Again, being in the passing lane, anticipating. Good defense doesn't mean you have to be next to your guy all the time. Sometimes it's just anticipating where the ball is going to go and being able to cut that off.
Headed forward by Woodberry Forest. Picking it up is Peak, long one forward. This is Edo Douglas giving it another go. He's had a lot of chances this half, and a nice save made there by Luke Hertzler, staying on it and cutting off that angle once again.
That's the best save he's made all game. That one diving away from him, down on the ground. It's a wet ground. You want to use the ground as part of a third point. He does so, but keeps his hand behind the ball. Great save by Hertzler.
Strong hands to snatch that one, too. It was kind of tailing away from him. Here's Stager.
Risking in a wet game, his goalie likes to use the turf as his friend, a third point of contact, but with a wet ground, it can turn into your enemy.
Patrick Scruggs with his untucked shirt. Back onto Park. With a left foot, he gives it a go.
Oh.
That one floated up. It's loose, and Vrolik's going to get there.
Hertzler got aggressive. Maybe that might not have been the best opportunity to be there, but he's been so good at being aggressive so far that just builds confidence. It gets past him, but Vrolik was sitting there ready to clean it up as the 4 subs will come in here for Woodberry Forest. We'll try and get you their names as a few more subs come in also for Eastern Mennonite.
Take a look at that setup pass that was floated in there, and looks like everybody kind of missed it.
Yeah.
It was aggressive again by Hertzler, and it was long and short for the 2 Woodberry Forest Tigers who were in the area.
Also seemed like maybe everybody anticipated some contact. And sometimes when you anticipate contact, you lay off your approach a little bit, waiting for the contact instead. As Gandy tries to do something with the ball in the middle of the field.
Gandy was immediately swallowed up by a couple of defenders there and couldn't slither his way through. Played it on back there for Justin Park, and a sliding go to keep that one in for Woodberry Forest. Sent out towards center once more. This is Carter Friddle, first we've seen of him, just entered the game, and he was looking up ahead for another Park, Andy Park.
Actually, second time we've seen Carter. I think he came in late in the first half for a quick spell. Really kind of give one of the starters an extra few minutes at halftime to rest up before the second half. Sometimes coaches will do that.
Thrown in and headed twice. Andy Park on the attack. Tries to cross it, and it's off of the body of Vrolik.
Andy Park, one of the 2 South Koreans on this team. He's from Ulsan, if I said that correctly. The other one being Brian Cho, the junior forward from Seoul, South Korea.
I'm going to say you said it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that was perfect.
No one's corrected me as of
course
yet.
not.
Now, if they're watching at home, they're welcome to try and contact us. Corner kick here, as the rain is really coming down now.
Long cross, little long.
Yeah, and there you see the ball skip, goes all the way to the sideline. The wind is now no longer a factor. It's been replaced by the rain.
I'd prefer the wind.
I would prefer the wind. And it was funny, as a player, as you see them all battling for it on the far sideline, it will go out of bounds. As a player, I hated the rain at the beginning. I also hated the rain when I was on the bench. But once you were wet and you were in the game, it didn't matter anymore. You're wet, everybody else is wet, let's go out there and play. I always hated it at the beginning of the game, like, oh, I don't want to get wet. Certainly didn't want to get wet when I was on the sidelines. But once you're in the game and you're wet, it was fine. It was no big deal. The wind was the part you couldn't handle because you just didn't know what it was going to do.
That one thrown in and headed away by Eastern Mennonite. Looked like Gandy tried to boot that one forward. He had another forward up there in the name of Benji Oberholzer, but he whiffed on it, and eventually it's played back for Stoyer.
Woodberry Forest, again, likes to go back to their goalie. That time, I think maybe unnecessarily. Park had plenty of time to do something with the ball, but again, that might just be their mentality. Sometimes getting it back to the goalie gives your team the chance to reset themselves, gives the goalie a chance to see the entire field. And sometimes even gets the other team to overcommit, which opens up opportunities in the middle of the field.
Here's Park once again, and he's going to give it to Stoyer. It really does seem like that's their reset.
Yeah, it's absolutely a reset. And good teams do that. Really, if you watch from the international professionals down to high school level, even middle school, as we get an opportunity here and a nice clear. But still
Crossed
another
and a
look.
chance.
Wow.
That was Friddle getting in on the action.
Didn't get all of it on his foot, but a nice look. But you'll see that the good teams will reset through their defenders. And I think it changes a way a team can present a game because it also gives the defender less pressure. He understands he can still go back to the goalie. Now, during my playing career, they went away from the goalie allowing to use his hands in those scenarios. It used to be you could get a pass from your defender and pick it up. Now you got to play it with your feet, but that just makes it a little bit more fair.
Now, we talked a little bit as they play it back for Park here about keys to this game entering the contest for Woodberry Forest, and as they are continuing with this 3-0 lead, we should check in with those as they'll play it out towards center again. And they wanted to play together as a team and as a unit, and they have absolutely done that.
Yeah, Woodberry Forest has absolutely lived up to that one. They have played very well as a unit. They find each other very well in the passing lanes. They get open for each other. They communicate very well. They play very well as a full unit. You've seen 3 different goal scorers, probably 6 different guys with opportunities to find the back of the net. Another one here. Hertzler with a big save.
Park had a go at that one off of his right foot, and Hertzler got in the way once again. His Eastern Mennonite boys will play it forward on the far left wing.
Again, the score not indicating just how good Hertzler has played in this game. The 3 goals that have gotten past him have just been in opportunities for him. There's only so much a goalie can do sometimes as he has to protect the side there on another long bomb from Tyler.
Mounting some more pressure there, Graham Tyler. So take another look at that attempt from Park, and an absolutely low screamer there off the right foot of Park, and he just stayed down there and kept it in front of him.
Good forwards know that the best place to shoot is low and near the goalie. And I don't mean away from the goalie. Those are good shots too. But it is harder for a goalie to get down within 2, 3, 4 feet of himself and get a hand on the ball than it is to get out 10 feet where you can dive. So aim low, especially on a wet turf where it can skip. And that was a great effort by Park and an even better save by Hertzler.
One of the other things that Woodberry Forest wanted to do is they get another chance here over for Friddle, see if he can mount something out of this. Friddle trying to get the edge, crosses it, and it's booted back out towards center.
I think Vrolik got his head on that one.
Wouldn't be surprised. He's been often in on those. But as I was starting to say before the play rudely interrupted me, is that they wanted to start out strong and play the full 90 minutes.
And they started out extremely strong. I jokingly said it's a little bit of coach speak to say that, but they preach it. And here's another look here as Friedel would go into the corner. Nice little hesitation, by the way, right there. Gets the defender back on his heels. And a nice cross. Let's see if Vrolik got his head on this one. He did. Vrolik cleared that one out. A nice job by him. But, yeah, they played, obviously we haven't played 90 minutes yet. We still got unofficially about 10 minutes left to go in this game. But they came out aggressive, and another look for Park as there's a melee in front.
It's loose.
That's going to go in, but the referee blew it dead.
I heard a whistle earlier before all that happened.
It wasn't Park. I apologize to Walmsley's family. That was Walmsley in on the play. I think they're going to call Walmsley for basically making contact with the goalie who'd come out to try and play it. We'll get another look here. You'll see Walmsley coming in, a little aggressiveness with the defender. They're going to call the foul there. Honestly, that's probably a little bit of a tangling up of each other. It could have gone either way, but stays out of the back of the net is more importantly for Eastern Mennonite fans.
Long run here for Friddle. And heading down to the turf was Betchler. He's up and they're still playing across and an attempted header there. Still loose, a shot and save made once again by the goalkeeper Luke Hertzler.
Hertzler taking a page of an ice hockey goalie's playbook there, going down to his knees, but that's a smart play. He's got to get his entire body in front of a very weird bouncing ball coming towards him. He did a great job. I'll keep preaching how good Hertzler's played in this game because he has played well in this game.
At center and off of the foot of Eastern Mennonites, as we get another look at that cross that was just booted up in there, and big chance coming in there for Nolan Day.
It took a short bounce right in front of Hertzler, and he was smart to just get his body down. They always tell you, keep your body in front of the ball, even if it's a slow roller to you, because you don't want it to go between your legs or take a weird bounce, and Hertzler did a nice job there of staying aggressive.
We'll get a corner here after Vrolik headed that crossing attempt back out across the goal line. Day's getting set up to take it. Nolan Day of Advance North Carolina, the senior.
Unofficially, probably about 8.5 minutes left to go in this one.
They'll set up a play here on the cross, and again, it's Vrolik.
Vrolik's played a much better second half than he did first half. I thought he played well in the first half, but he got caught on his heels a few times, playing too far up the field, and he's played a much better second half to help keep Woodberry Forest off the scoreboard. As Gandy still has it on his foot.
Gandy, wow, and he's knocked down and is down and a little bit shaken up after that long run. He was up in the air, the ball meanwhile going the other way. Gandy still being helped to his feet. Now he's up and walking it off. Meanwhile, the attack for Walmsley.
Fans wanted a call, by the way, on Gandy. I think it's a good no call from the official's point of view. Gandy being a little aggressive, had lost control of the ball, got undercut just a little bit. You'll see it here. You'll see him go for the ball, loses it. Defender's coming in trying to play the ball. I think it's still a good no call. I think the defender was there to try and play the ball. I don't think he was trying to play Gandy. I think it's a good no call by the official.
I'll say this, though, being up in the air and having your legs swept out from underneath you, that's the worst feeling you can have, and that hurts just falling straight down there. Not much of a way to brace yourself in that situation.
As Park will come out of the game here, Justin Park, the senior from North Vancouver, British Columbia, the center back will exit the game. Well played by him. It appears that Edward Laney from Columbia, South Carolina will enter the game. They'll readjust the defense a little bit. They'll put Graham Tyler back in the center position, where he played a little bit of the first half as well.
Tyler gave it over to Tracy. Touched it on forward.
Little note, by the way, it's Tracy. I did not mark that on my script, and I apologize for you.
Tracy.
But head coach Miles was telling me that for the last 3 years, he thought it was Tracy, and everybody called him Tracy. And all of a sudden, at some point early in this year, he went, "Oh, it's Tracy." Everybody.
Maybe he pulled the Joe Theismann move, and he just decided to change it.
All of his teammates were calling him Tracy as well. So you can't fault anybody when the guy's not correcting his own teammates.
Here we go again. Hostetter on the left wing, tied up and out of bounds.
About 6 minutes left unofficially as more subs will come in for both teams. As I wouldn't say the dogs are being called off, but certainly the aggressiveness from Eastern Mennonite has disappeared, but the defense certainly doesn't want to give up another one either. Neither defense wants to give up a goal at this point in the game.
Right side, touch back towards center. This is Somperak.
Woodberry Forest wants to keep the shutout and clean sheet for their two goalies intact, whereas Eastern Mennonite wants to show that they played a much better second half and didn't break down and gave up another goal, that they can build on something off of this second half.
Big boot up into the air and getting there first and heading it, actually sending it backwards, was Edward Laney. On the right wing, this is Park. Turned over.
The younger of the two Parks.
Stoltzfus played it onto the right side, and Kangmin Song is there and will peel away to get a fresh ball to throw in.
Some subs coming in, so a little bit of a delay here. Another thing we talked about was in the wins, Eastern Mennonite averaging almost 5.5 goals a game. And when you look at their average, they're averaging just over 3 goals a game, period, for the season. It just shows that when they lose, they struggle on offense. They struggle to find the back of the net. They struggle to find opportunities. And that is clear as day today. It is obvious that is, and there's going to be a handball called there, as allowing the ball to play in was Taylor Martin. But that is clear as day here today. They struggled on offense, struggled to control the midfield, struggled to get the ball up into the offensive end. And as a result, they're being shut out right now.
It's got to be even more frustrating when you know that they have the ability to put up those goals and that it's all or nothing.
Well, and if you're the head coach, and again, we haven't seen a lot of Eastern Mennonite, but I'm going based on what I'm seeing here and seeing in the stat sheet. You probably know where your frustration is. It's controlling the middle of the field and getting the ball up on offense. And
here's a chance. Can't quite settle it down, Walmsley. Now he'll do so and leave it on back out for Postic. Towards center and poked away once more. And here's maybe a counter chance, but no, it looks like Woodberry Forest going to get there first, and falling as he sent it forward was Garnet Reed.
Oh, nice
long
look.
pass, and Gandy, pulled up. He was just
a too far.
A little bit off the line. Stoyer a few times has beaten Gandy to the ball on one of those potential
that one was
breaks.
just a ball that was just a little too far for Gandy. If it's back towards Gandy and maybe 2 yards, it's a different ball game. And the other point, to kind of back to the problem for Eastern Mennonite in this game, I've personal experience with the 4-5-1. You need a really good midfield and you need a very good forward. Gandy's a really good forward, but the midfield struggled today. If the midfield is not successful in a 4-5-1 scenario the Eastern Mennonite uses, Gandy's not going to see the ball often as you see the opportunity here. That's where they have been playing it back to the goalie most times. But that occasion, try to get too cute, gave an opportunity to Gandy just outside. You'll see him coming in just outside his opportunity.
From our angle, he looked like he was in line with it, but it was just about 10 feet too wide for him to the far side.
Yeah, ball was bending away from him just a little bit. But again, if Eastern Mennonite can control the midfield, if they can control the ball getting up to Gandy, then their offense is going to be prolific because Gandy's a great goal scorer. But they struggled today to control the midfield. You can't control the midfield, Gandy's not going to get opportunities.
Here come the Tigers. Left it on back for a big shot attempt. Just a little, approaching about 2 minutes left in this one. Played it on forward, poked away. No one really controlling the possession at the moment. On the far left wing with it now, that's Hostetter.
This gives Coach Mills an opportunity to look at a lot of his guys on this Woodberry Forest squad that don't get a lot of playing time. Probably haven't gotten a lot of playing time since that 13-1 game. But it gives himself a chance to see what he's got for the rest of the season.
Park crossed it, headed away, and booted out. Nicely done there by Song to get there, but briefly though, as it was Woodberry Forest controlling it and sending it out of bounds for a goal kick. Waning moments of this one as the rain has been steady for most of the second half.
Yeah, it's literally a tale of two halves with Mother Nature. Windy in the first half with overcast skies. Second half, the wind has gone and the rain has been replaced, and it changed the dynamic of the game in the sense of how the field had reacted, but it didn't change the dynamic with how much Woodberry Forest has controlled this.
Here they come again. Nice little crossing attempt, and Hertzler couldn't quite control it. Still in danger, across again, and it's that man again, Vrolik, getting in the way to clear it, but still on the attacking side here for Woodberry Forest. Postic tried to get it on forward to Sean Adigroye. It will be out of bounds, and it will be a goal kick.
Probably be the last kick of the game as well, as we're in the waning seconds. Referee's probably just going to wait for them to kick this in and blow the game dead.
Get everyone to some shelter. We will have an interview with the victorious coach, and hopefully a player, Trey Wilson, I see is over there waiting to snag them. They'll play it back for Stoyer. Booted it. A little bit long and headed away once again. Coming on the attack and kind of balking at it twice before sending it forward was Taylor Martin. Here's Gandy.
little extra time thanks to all the substitutions here in the second half.
Gandy now. Long one forward and left-footed away once again. Eastern Mennonite hoping to get out of here with at least one goal, trying to get a bit of an attack. A little bit long for its intended target of Andrew Johnson, and the 3 whistles will blow. And there it is, your final score. Woodberry Forest, they strike early and often in the first half and hold on in the second half. The final score 3-0 as they win once again and improve to 8-1 on the season, and an impressive effort from them, Dave.
Yeah, very impressive effort. First, or I should say, they continue their winning ways. They've now won 7 straight on the season, have not lost at home at all. Eastern Mennonite, in the meantime, suffers their first loss in 8 games, now 5-1-2 in that stretch. And I think Eastern Mennonite proved, or I should say Woodberry Forest proved that they are a very good unit. You know, coach speak in some senses, but they played extremely well as a group today and frustrated Eastern Mennonite from basically the opening kick.
And just it's weird to see how they're prolific offensively, and they've shown that, but they had that 13-goal game, of course, and since then, the pattern holds. They haven't eclipsed 3 goals. Of course, 3 goals a lot to score, but
yeah. Well, and they're playing better defenses than the 13-1 game would allude to, so certainly that's not a knock on them, but 3-0 in this game against an Eastern Mennonite squad who probably was a little too conservative on defense to start this game, and as a result may have gotten back on their heels too much and got into too deep a hole. This Woodberry Forest team, very good as a unit. They play very well for such not a young squad. They are senior laden, but for a high school unit that's in the middle of their season, they're playing like it's the end of the year.
We mentioned earlier in the game and throughout the broadcast how they were trying to keep pressure on really for the entire field for the full 90 minutes, and they did that. Eastern Mennonite never really had a chance to breathe, it seemed like, and they didn't really control the ball at all.
No, Eastern Mennonite had trouble finding the extra pass to get it up to their offense. They had trouble finding even the way to control the ball. Woodberry Forest was aggressive in the passing lanes. They were aggressive for 50-50 balls. Eastern Mennonite was not on 50-50 balls and was trying to take too aggressive a pass, or trying to be too fancy with their passes instead of sticking to the basics. Woodberry Forest beat them in the basics.
It was impressive throughout those crisp passes in. But we mentioned also a few times on the positive side for Eastern Mennonite, their goalkeeper Luke Hertzler played a very good match, and he kept it at least somewhat close.
He was a shining star. This is a 7-0 game if Hertzler doesn't play as well as he does. Coming off the line extremely aggressively and well. Timed his approach very well. There were a couple times where he stayed back on the ball, and it came to him. He read the ball very well today, especially in changing weather conditions. I think Hertzler was the MVP of their team for this game. I think he played extremely well. And again, this is a 7-0 game if he doesn't play as well as he did.
We saw a goal from the freshman Foley, who just buried a chance that he had at one, and Joe Foley that's his 10th goal of the season here. The freshman,
unofficially, yeah.
He was we didn't see as much of him in the second half, and it seemed kind of like that. Yeah, they were getting some more guys in the thick of things, as we see that Trey Wilson currently is tracking down some of the victorious members of the squad that we'll get to in just a minute. But it was an impressive team effort.
Absolutely, from start to finish, from the back line to the front line. Again, I don't even think Foley played that much, if at all, in the second half, and why? You don't need to. The freshmen doing extremely well, and I think that's the testament here. You've got a senior-laden squad with guys who are freshmen who are making contributions. You know, Stager, I think, was the other one on my list as a freshman from Tallahassee, Florida, has a goal. The other freshman has a goal. They get 2 goals out of freshmen, but the game was dictated by the seniors, and that can create a very dangerous squad as the season goes on, and they start lining themselves up for the playoffs.
All right, so Trey Wilson now down in the rain with a victorious trio. Let's check in with Trey.
Coach, the rains came, but they did not slow you guys down with the domination of the possession in today's game. What did you think of your guys' performance today?
It was pretty good. Again, we still have some things to work on, but I thought we moved the ball very well, especially in the first half. Just knocked it around. But this close group of guys, doesn't matter the weather, can't control that. Just control our way, and we've been very successful with moving the ball all season long, so we just continue to do so today.
Now, this is a team that scores pretty consistently across the course of the season. What does it mean to keep them from scoring any today?
We have very strong defense. We're a strong full attacking team. We're a strong defending team. We have a lot of depth both in our goalkeeping and defensively. Just again, we have guys that'll take guys 1v1 and they'll win the battle.
Thank you, Coach. Now we're going to talk with Joe Foley, who scored the second goal in today's game, really helped put things out of reach. What did it mean to put that one in the net?
It was a good goal. I think it put the other team kind of down, so it was good to get it in.
Now, what did it mean to win in today's game, but not just to win, but to win in such a dominating performance?
It was great to keep the roll going, so yeah.
Thank you very much. We're going to talk now with one more player. We're going to talk with a senior on this team in Will Peak. Will, come on in. Today, you're a senior on this team, you're a leader. What does it mean for you guys to pick up the win against a tough team like this in Eastern Mennonite?
It's always good to get a win at home, especially in these conditions. So, we're just trying to keep the streak going. We're undefeated at home right now, and we're just trying to keep it going. Keep scoring goals, keep the shutouts coming.
Now, did the rain have any effect on you guys in the second half once it really started to come down like it is now?
I think it definitely made the game a little more scrappy and a little more frustrated for us because I know we wanted to put in a few more goals, but I think we were satisfied winning the 50-50 balls and keep running at them.
Thank you very much. Now let's send it back over to Brian.
Down there with a wet bunch and a happy bunch with Len Mills' squad, as we're going to check in on some of the highlights of this contest. An exciting one really throughout. We saw excellent job by Woodberry Forest, the Tigers, with those 3 goals all in the first half, and it was just all in all an impressive effort.
Yeah.
We'll get a look at some. We'll keep talking about this one as we take a look at some of what happened important in this game.
And here's Will Peak to Stager. Just a nice cut back there, and a left foot finds the near side. Hertzler's in no man's land in that scenario. He can't really win, as it were. Here's another nice touch up ahead. This is Foley on the ball this time. Little lifts it right over Hertzler, who has to be aggressive in that scenario, has to come out for the ball. Another corner kick opportunity. Foley nearly converts this one. High in the air. Foley tries to get head on it, and he'll learn to head that down next time instead of trying to find the back upper 90. Because he's got the height. You might as well aim low. And this is all first half. This was constant pressure before the rain came and the wind died down. Woodberry Forest, another nice lift of the ball there. Nice save by Hertzler off a Will Peak head ball opportunity. Again, still first half, I should say. Nice give and go. Look at that ball back into the midfield, then up ahead. A little hesitation, beats Volek, who tried to grab on, then just buries it in the back of the corner. That was their 3rd goal of the game. And Woodberry Forest controlled all sides. Look, communication. Here's where I'm going. Hertzler stays at home at that time off the Scruggs shot, Woody Scruggs, from about 20 yards out. And Hertzler played a really good game in this one, even in the second half when conditions went absolutely downhill. This is still first half. Nice opportunity. Hertzler aggressive off his line. Hesitated just long enough to give the offensive player thinking he had another opportunity. Here it is, second half. They make a switch in goal here for Woodberry Forest. Nearly beats them over the top. A nice look there.
That was maybe the best chance that Eastern Mennonite had. They had a couple in the second half. That was early.
And Grady here nearly finds the guy in the middle, and a toe poke by Park to clear the ball. Woodberry Forest kept up the pressure. Another nice look here from Peak. Tries to go far side. Nice spin, but Hertzler with an incredible save going backwards as well. A little toe poke here. You just catch it. Look, Woodberry Forest coming to the ball. Eastern Mennonite waiting for the ball. Nice little give and go pass. Another look, just missed it to the backside.
It kind of seemed like it was a display of superior talent and superior conditioning and superior desire.
I think more than that, I think the talent's there for Eastern Mennonite. I think it was more just execution. Knowing where your teammates are, staying aggressive. Another opportunity there called, nice job by Hertzler. I think it was just, I think Eastern Mennonite's got the talent. I think they were just back on their heels, and the game plan going in was be aggressive by Eastern Mennonite, or by Woodberry Forest, and they stayed aggressive the whole time. There's a risk-reward with being aggressive. There's a risk-reward with being conservative. Today's a prime example of that risk being conservative and the reward of being aggressive. It could go either way, but certainly Woodberry Forest on top of it is Hertzler again. Playing aggressive, and he had to play aggressive. This game is out of control. Very easily 7-0.
You're seeing a lot of that. Seeing a lot of Hertzler making things happen. Hertzler just flailing, kind of just keeping the ball in front of him somehow. And it was impressive. It was
he
it was
did a
absolutely
very
impressive.
good job. He's got a long career ahead of him if he wants to continue it. Here you just see patience from the defense. They know where their guys are. Put it up ahead, a little flick on ball there. Back to the guy because you know you can't do anything with it. That gives you another opportunity. Nice little flick on here. Burst of speed. You got the defense on their heels, and Hertzler comes up with probably the best save he had all game.
Absolutely agree
diving
with,
to his left.
with how wet it was at that point and how he just snatched it with the big, strong hands. And
Yep.
it was
another rifle using his lower body to keep that one from the back of the net. It just on and on and on. If Hertzler's not in this game, it's 7-8-0, and it's a different ball game. I think Woodberry Forest absolutely dominated this game on the field. Hertzler dominated the game in goal despite the 3-0 spread. If you're Woodberry Forest, you got to walk out of here feeling really good about the rest of your season. If you're Eastern Mennonite, I think you need to go back to the drawing board, especially in the midfield.
Fun team to watch, and too bad that the weather didn't cooperate completely and make it just a glorious day out here. But hey, enjoyed myself nonetheless, and I hope you did so as well,
Absolutely.
Dave. It was a lot of fun. So for everyone listed on the production team on the screen, BJ Kubarulis, Jim Lepp, Nick Plum, Kelsey Mizor, John Reed, Robert Denfield, Alec Rodriguez. For Trey Wilson on the sidelines and my partner here in the booth, Dave McHugh, I'm Brian Gardner signing off from Woodberry Forest School. Once again, your final score on this exciting match, Woodberry Forest 3, Eastern Mennonite 0. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and so long for now.